to have you here on this beautiful Thursday. If you're catching us on the live stream, and this is being recorded on Thursday, the 4th of September. If you happen to catch the replay, I'm going to give it just a few moments here to see who's coming in, and we'll get rolling. For those of you who may have caught the post that I did earlier, I'll go into more details when some folks actually start making their way into the live. But I did set an intention. Well, I'm going to basically discuss it with the group. Hello, whoever just came in. Welcome, welcome to the live stream. Ooh. Oh, y'all. Hey, Brittany, how are you, darling? Welcome. Oh, you know what? I said something. Hey, Valerie, how are you, my love? Welcome, welcome. Brittany, yesterday, you know how you say something and then later on you actually hear what you say in replay in your head? I had a couple of things like that when we were yesterday when we were in the live stream that I really it bugged me. I'm doing really good. I am. Hey, Michelle, how are you? Number one, when I was reading for you and your girls, I misspoke. The original bitches were not priestesses under Bastet. I don't know what I was talking about. Those are the Isis temple dogs. I was like, why would a cat have dogs in the temple? But anyway, yeah, they were the priestesses of Isis. And also, I have been so confused or saying it backwards for the past few days. Sunday is the full moon. No, no, I'll be giving readings tomorrow on my other channel, Anunnaki Oracle Priestess, in the morning. I will be online. I'm going to do my very level best to make it online by 10 a.m. Eastern, but for sure no later than 11 a.m. Eastern. Well, I'm like I say, if you come in there, it's been really slow on that channel because I'm activating a channel, a personal use channel that had been dormant for 13 years, so it has not hit the algorithm yet. If you come in there, there's a really good chance that we can get into pretty much anything you like, and you can ask the ladies that are already in the room here about what my how my readings go down. Spirit will have a word for you if you show up and you share that. You set that intention and energy, and you show up. It'll be there for you. You're welcome, my dear. You can also email me at modernmysticmessages@gmail.com if you wish. Hi, Crystal. How are you? Welcome in. Welcome in. But yeah, Brittany, like I said, the full moon. I realized I had caught myself slipping and said the new moon was on Sunday. It's the full moon, of course. People that watch the moon phases probably was wondering what I was talking about. But what I'm considering doing is, this is something I've never offered to anyone before. So y'all let me know if it's something you're interested in. We can do it. If not, hi Crystal, welcome in, welcome in. If you're interested in it, I'm considering doing. Oh, you like the readings? Phenomenal. Yay, good. And again, it makes my heart sing when I keep getting those confirmations because I set the intention for me to be removed out of the way, for me to be a clear channel for spirit. And so far, basically, the worst I've ever heard, and I ain't gonna say worst because it wasn't bad. One person told me that my reading resonated 90%. I'll take that. I'll take that all day for somebody I've never laid eyes on and really haven't heard from before or since that day. So that was fine. Red Rob, are you gonna be nice today or are we gonna ignore you today? If you come in here talking nonsense, you're gonna have to go. You are born for a time such as this, Michelle. Yeah. Exactly. And the 10% sometimes is what's coming forward for you. I have confirmations. Like I mean, I tell y'all all the time about things that I heard in meditation, I heard spirit say, and blah blah blah. And sometimes it takes years for you to understand what spirit told you in the moment. So I don't be sweating it. Hey brother, welcome Antoine, welcome, welcome. Back to what I was gonna say. And again, let me know if this is something y'all. Rob, guess what? It is growing. I had less than 500 subscribers at the end of June. So I'm not trying to blow this up from a commercial standpoint. This is a spiritual channel. If you don't have the patience to let spirit do what it do, I don't know what to tell you, bro. That's all I can do is what spirit is leading me to do. Okay? Ali Shabazz, I don't use Cash App. Cash App and I fell out a while back. They still owe me a few $100s that I'll never get back. I use Buy Me a Coffee, and the link is on the homepage of my channel. It's also on the About page. The link is COF as in Frank, F as in Frank, .ee/ modern mystic messages. If you're interested, you can go there. And yeah, for what we're setting up, Red Rob, and I'm honestly, Spirit probably kept you off the page the other night when we were the for real soul family that was here had an extremely resonant conversation about where we're eventually heading. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon, and we're cool with that, okay? I do have a bank account. If I didn't, I couldn't have a buy me a coffee account, Red Rob. You have to link it to a verified bank account. That's what you have to do. Lord have mercy. Again, you about to be on ignore status because again, I'm not gonna waste my time removing you if you're not being truly offensive or doing, with hate speech or whatever. But don't do that. Don't do that. You don't know nothing about me to be coming on here saying nothing about what I have or don't have. And as much as I pour into this soul family by way of keeping my energy up in spite of people like you that try to bring it down, and the meditation that I do and the study that I do and all of the information that I bring to the family freely, if you don't think I have a bank account, why don't you help me get one, brother? That part. hmm Because this is valid work for spirit, it really is. Hey, Elias, how are you? Welcome, welcome, and peace be upon you as well, brother. Peace be upon you. Um, but what I was thinking about for everybody except Red Rob, that everybody who is aligned with spirit and aligned with my spirit, um, this upcoming full moon is gonna be big. Okay, it's a full moon in Pisces. Saturn just entered Pisces. And for many of us, we're in our second Saturn return. Some of you are in your first Saturn return, but that is powerful energy. And in addition to being a full moon, a blood moon in Pisces, and I think it's 0 degrees, I'm not sure. Um, but it's also going to be a full lunar eclipse that day. Amazing energy. Now, because of all of that, oh, thank you, Paul. Thank you. And hey, Osis, how are you, my love? Welcome in, everyone. Welcome. What I am considering doing for those that might be interested, and we'll have a few days to decide because it will be a donation basis. If For years I've been manifesting things for other people. I've been doing my own like full moon rituals and burning ancestor money, that kind of stuff. And I am considering for those that are interested in it, if I'm considering doing a group um, purging and manifestation, like a group burn ritual, a burn ceremony, and a manifestation ritual under the full moon. Bye, Dylan. You can quote scripture all you want to up in here. Don't bother us because number one, I'm not Christian. So if you got a problem with that, we'll look it up. Let's see what Dylan is trying to preach at us today, shall we? Yeah. So basically, I will devote that day. I'm gonna do it, like I said, I'll be doing it for my personal benefit as well, even if no one else is interested. But for those who want to pool that collective energy, and again, I was thinking about that beautiful chat session that we had, the last live session, and the things that we were talking about, and the things that we've been envisioned from spirit, and bringing some of those things into being, and that seed that we need to get those things going, and all that kind of stuff. I was thinking about us pooling that group energy, like I said, and for those that are interested in, and I'm gonna compile an email for the part that you'd have to do for your part. I will not film it all on YouTube because of the nasty energies that are here. What I would do on Sunday is the actual, I think the eclipse is going to be seen in the Asian countries, and through Asia and Africa earlier in the day. So I might do a little bit of reading earlier in the day for under that energy, but I will go in and take my spiritual bath early around 7 p.m. and then start the live, or 7:07 actually, because again, this is all bit about being intentional. So at 7:07 I would start my ritual. At 7:07, at 8:08 I'd come on the live stream with you all until 10:10, and at 10:10 I will go outside and start the meditation ritual and the burn ceremony to be concluded by 11:11. Hey, Storycraft. Yeah, Red Rob, they used to until I started manifesting stuff when they little butts was in trouble, when they butt behind was in a crack and they needed something, they know to call me and I go in my spirit closet and shit happens. So I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. And now it is an energy exchange. So like I said, the ones that wish to be included would be for donation. And I'm not really setting a particular amount because it's about the energy exchange. I'm setting an intention for a 70 by 7 manifestation ritual, and I'm going to do some things involved with that, and including transferring some of your intentions to bay leaves and do a bay burn bowl. I'll be burning ancestor money. There's several steps involved for some of the things I'm going to do. I don't have to outline everything because, like I say, I know there are haters tuning in, but once we do our public part and you all can do your part, and then in the end I'll do my part, and again I'll send out emails to those that want to be involved in that. Yeah, that part. If you're interested, email me. Ali Shabazz, it is ceremonial money. I've got some that I can't. It's too much for me to dig it out right now. Some of it looks like actual currency. I've got some that looks like American money in different dominant denominations. I've got some that looks like it's literally like Chinese ritual burn money. And truthfully, I burn both types because um, the Jade Emperor is said to be the keeper of the World Bank. Now, again, if you don't believe, you don't have to. If you do, if you know, you know. That's all I can say. So, yeah. Yeah, just ignore him. We're going to leave him alone because everybody else that's in here is in a beautiful um, energy, and we're going to keep that going. So, and again, you hear the last question he asked. Wow, a full moon and ancestor money. One question: do your kids call you crazy? To be honest, so he's so spiritually unaware. He has no idea about the thousands and thousands of channels that post stuff about manifesting with the moon, making moon water, doing full moon rituals. Some of the biggest channels out here. There's Master Shri or Karshana, Guru, and all of them on the full moons and stuff. They'll all be posting videos about it. So if I am crazy, I ain't by myself. So yeah, if he don't know no better, just leave him alone. Hey Storycraft, hey Star, welcome in. Hey Obiora, welcome. Bro 100, awesome. Welcome in, brother. Let me see. Hey, Xantharium Queen, how are you? Welcome. Look, Xantharian, I understand that, but guess what? All of them Bible thumpers that tell you that the Holy Spirit is all you need is basically to keep you in a stuck state. The scriptures say the leaves of the trees are for the healing of the nations. So the fact that Christians want to push everybody away from herbs is so that them demons that run up through y'all's churches and fill everybody full of the Holy Ghost can stay on people too. No. When spiritists tell you how to get the devil up off of you, believe them. Believe them. Because I grew up fully ensconced in Christianity, and I know how Christians feel about things like incense and all that, but they're so hypocritical because you go up in a Catholic or an Episcopalian church and the incense smoke will damn near run you up out of there. But then they turn around and tell the lay people that it's wrong. They get so damn pious and holier than thou that they act like burning candles is wrong. But again, go up in the churches. The things that they tell the lay people to do are designed to keep us spiritually crippled. So yes, I do rely on Holy Spirit and my spiritual team, but I also understand how to cleanse my etheric body using certain herbs and minerals and things like that. And it works. So I appreciate your concern, but I'm good. Thank you, Valerie. I appreciate you. And again, like I say, I'm going to compose an email to send out to all of you because, like I said, part of it I'll be doing, but there's some things that I'm going to suggest that you can do as well so that we're basically just like we did that Reiki session in the live stream on the other channel the other day, we're pooling our energy for further manifestation. Full moons are powerful for manifesting in the first place, and eclipses are like an exponential magnifier. So if we bring our clean energy and intention together in that time frame, whatever you're intending can be amplified. That's all. Those that are about it, cool. Those that ain't got to worry about participating in it. Again, Red Rob, I'm not going to take time today to recount some of the major things that I've helped manifest on other people's behalves. Because again, even some of those people will turn around and say, well, where your million? I had somebody, where your $1 million at? Manifest the lottery numbers. You want to manifest so much. But those are the people that really sat around with their hands stuck out trying to take from me. But there have been some people that literally were in crisis mode. And I got off the phone and got my head together and did what I next did. And the next day, they was crying with tears of thanks and joy. It's what happens. So, you know what? And I forgot. Let me put this on subscriber only mode. That'll stop some of these folks from coming through. Red Rob wants to heckle so bad. He actually subscribed to me so that he could have the privilege of sticking around. But I'm gonna do subscribers only. You're gonna have to wait around at least 5 minutes to talk crap to me now, if you want to. That's up to y'all. There we go. Good for you, Osis. Because honestly, again, I know be a little sharp with my mouth when I speak out against religion, but it's not against the actual parishioners. Most of the lay people in the congregants don't know any better. They genuinely don't. But I know for a fact the church hierarchy does know better, and that's why I don't pull no punches. I just say what I'm gonna say because I'm old enough that I don't really have no F's to give about who don't like it no more, you know? Hey, Niana, my love, how are you? How are you? I have a close relationship with Yeshua. Xantharium. If you haven't ever been on this channel, so you're not aware of that. But Yeshua is my main spiritual guide. I became clairaudiently linked with him in 2020. I've been close to God all my life, but I didn't understand I was being misled to the wrong God through Christianity until Yeshua pulled my coattails and showed me something. And it wasn't just because I had a feeling in my heart. Holy Spirit literally led me to the ancient texts and the other teachers and the theologians and the theosophists. I spent years in research before I got confident enough to come here and say the things that I'm saying now. But I know what I'm talking about. So, yeah, when I speak out against Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, it's because I know what I'm talking about. You're welcome, and God bless you too. Hey, Environment, how are you, dear? Welcome. Oh, you said your reading was 100% Niana? That's what I like to hear. I love it. Michael Stevens, welcome back. Well, you know what? That session got so lit, though. Like I said, that when that, whatever, that frequency download upgrade, I don't know. Y'all sisters had some energy up in that live stream. I hear frequency all the time, but that was crazy. It literally came through my head like on an angle. I'm like, woo. Hey, Michael, if I didn't say hello yet, welcome. Yeah, I had to because I realized we started to get some. I forgot we had some folks coming through, and especially since I was talking about that manifestation um, ceremony and ritual, I really don't want to open that kind of stuff in there. Hey, Joyce, awesome, awesome. I didn't. You know what? I was in my head most of the. Well, I slept late because, like I said, that live stream went like 9 hours, and I got off of there and did a couple things around the house. But one, my sleep has been weird. I wake up in the middle of the night anyway, and by the time I woke up, I just kind of lounged around. And this morning in the bath is when I got that notion to go ahead and offer that collective energy with the full moon thing. And I have been mulling that around in my head as to what that would look like and whether I should open that up that way most of the day. Ooh, some chuck steaks in the slow cooker. Awesome. What do I know about the law of one delivered by Ra? Um, I don't have an issue with the law of one. I dug a little bit into it for a while. I mean, again, there are so many avenues to the same place, if you will. But I have listened to quite a bit of Ra's information. Um, I was brought into the world of channeling, if you will, first through the Seth material and then through Abraham and Esther. I've listened to a little bit of Theo, a little bit of Cryon. And truthfully, quite honestly, I don't know. I think at the time when I was listening to the Law of One material, it wasn't directly from the group that was channeling Ra. It was through Brian Scott. And I have nothing against Brian Scott. I don't. But for what at the time that I was going through that, what's his name? Was it Bruce? I can't think of his name. That had giving voice to the wisdom of the ages. I was more into that channel. And then I was like going through the Christ letters and the way of mastery and that information. So I didn't have the time or the energetic bandwidth to go all the way into the law of one because that's kind of like Course in Miracles. They're on a very set, very prescribed course. I got ADD. I can't tune into one person and one ideology that long for when there's all this other information coming at me too. So I just didn't get seriously into it. But I don't have any problem with it. It's it's slightly more clinical than what I've been led to. Like I said, when I started being led on the path of the initiate, I fell down a spiritual rabbit hole, and I understand why now because of my biblical training in the past. I was being led someplace specific so that I could see the correlation between the Anunnaki texts and the biblical text because that's taking it back to ground zero. It's fine to stay out in these because the channelers that have come onto the planet in this late 20th century and the early part of the 21st century, that's it's basically taking religion and spirituality out of the mix. It's still bringing them a spiritual message, but out of the context of theosophy and religion for those who need to make it that generic and that washed down. And it was great for a time when that's where I was. But again, Yeshua pulled me back to the scriptures because I literally started hearing they delivered him up to the Romans. They delivered him up to the Romans. And it pulled me back into reading the Bible in a way that I hadn't done in years, but I needed to so that I could see it from a different perspective now. And like I said, I spend so much time doing this, I just don't have time to go down the law of one rabbit hole. Stephen, yeah, all is well with me. I hope all is well with you also. Oh, you said the lady from last night was so accurate. You see why she liked me. Ooh, that's a I'll take it, Brittany. I'll take it because honestly, my daughter was like that too. Rob was talking about, do my kids think I'm crazy? That my youngest one, the one that I had to basically be estranged myself from for a few years, she was so bitterly opposed to anything spiritual. And oddly enough, she was the one that pulled me to the Baptist church. I've been baptized under two Christian faiths, and the second one was because of her as a little girl. But when she went off the rail, she went off the Richter damn near overnight, somewhere around the age of like 13, 14. Decided she was gay, chopped off all her hair, started running around looking like a dirty little boy. And now she's cool now. I mean, she still dresses rather masculine, but I'm saying whatever was going on, I knew she was troubled in her spirit because for a while she wouldn't even bathe until I had it became a battle in my house. I'm like, little girl, I smell you, that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? There was something really going on with her, and it changed everything up. And she wanted zero to do with anything that I had going on spiritually until a couple years ago when she was really feeling it spiritually and asked me to read for her. And she told me I was so accurate, it was scary because I didn't know nothing about her. We hadn't been talking for 3 years. But when she finally reached out to me and asked me to read for her, I did two readings for her, and she was like, "It's too scary, accurate. That's kind of creepy, but okay." I'm like, "All right then." Hey Pierre, how are you, dear? Welcome in. Yeah, Stephen, that's what I'm saying, and I'm not saying that the law of one isn't a real path for those that are led that way. That's fine. There are a lot of different ascended masters on this planet, and there's a lot of different ways. Like, what's that? Oh, I can't think of the name of the girl that did that song. All roads lead to you. Um, it's a way to get there. You know what I'm saying? It's just that it's not the way I was led to. Because Michael, they don't hate on me. They're not hating me. They don't know me. That's why I don't get any angrier than I do. They hate on the energy because they're so ensconced in their programming in the matrix that they can't understand that they could possibly be wrong. And again, some of those that are still asleep, like really asleep in the matrix, oh, they'll die on that hill. And it doesn't even make sense that, like, our government lies to us and we see evidence of that every day. They even force science to lie to us and we see that every single day. They change up our history, they change our school curriculums and all of that, and we see and complain about that every single day. So why these people think that the powers that were to change everything else in our environment in reality haven't adulterated our religious systems is beyond me. Especially when Yeshua said that church and state should stay separate, and church and state been nasty bedfellows ever since. He said that. In fact, it's so bad that in Revelation they call Babylon the Great a harlot, a prostitute, because she has prostituted herself before the governments of the world. That is Christendom that it's referring to in the scriptures. Part of them probably do. It's like their inner being may know, but their demons are still wailing against it. And again, I'm not trying to say that in anything funny. These people do not understand that a lot of them, because they've kept their vibration low, and they continue to feed on the pablum, if you will, the baby food of the world that religion has given them, and politics has given them, and government has given them, and all of the rest of that stuff. They, by them choosing to feed on the elementary things, they have left themselves vulnerable to be fed upon by the powers and principalities of this world. They are fodder for demons, and they don't understand that. And you can't tell them that. Even though they have all that paranormal activity, they'll come in, finally come limping in when demons are scratching them and they can't sleep and they having crazy nightmares and everything running against them and they hearing crap knocking all on the doors and all. Then they worry about it, and only then. Yeah. And again, Pierre, that's why I say I'm not. It's not about me. Well, I still have a little residual mercy on the one hand, because I do understand that a lot of them are genuinely blind, because I understand, because I was so deeply indoctrinated and programmed as well. It would be different if I had been raised in an agnostic household, or universalist, or even atheist, and then found my way to something else. No, I was completely fed. I was spoon fed the Kool-Aid from the time I was a baby, quite literally taught to read from the Bible by the age of 3. So when I say it's been religious indoctrination was hardwired in me from day one, it was. So I understand how long it took me to be able to crawl up out of that. So in that aspect, I have a little more tolerance, I guess, for them than some people would. Um, but now it's not mercy as far as what's going to happen towards the end, because people like me, and I ain't saying just me, there are plenty of people like me that are out there trying to wake them up and speak the truth. And they speak out so bitterly against us that by the time it rolls around to that end of the book that they've been steady trying to march us to in their arrogance, when they get that's going to be the biggest kick in the head, when the game switch up and they realize that all that preaching and finger pointing they've been doing to everybody else, when the book was actually talking about them, and that they're going down with it. That's the part that I don't envy them. I really don't. Hold on a second, let me catch up on some of this. You said Alexia is neutral with Christianity. She walked away from it. She's like us, but she's interested. She's not sure, and she don't have to be. She, like you said, little by little, is she's got a word, and again, her guides will kind of redirect her. That's the cool part about Abraham Hicks used to say it. A lot of these folks that are stuck in religion, they're literally trying to paddle upstream. They're wanting to manifest stuff and it's not coming. So they think if they pray a little harder, and they don't even realize that they're praying to somebody that don't even want them. It wouldn't help them if they could. Yeshua told them that prayers go no higher than the ceiling, but they don't believe that. So when they're having difficulty, they just fight harder and try harder and wail and keep their energy in that state, and they don't even realize if they would just let go, spirit will redirect you. It's like a cork. That Abraham Hicks uses the analogy of holding a cork under the surface of the water. It'll stay there as long as you hold it. If you let it go, it'll bob to the surface on its own. And truthfully, same thing with a boat. If you're trying to paddle upstream and you're not getting there, drop the oars, and the current will move you in the way it needs to and carry you. But they don't see that part. Oh, honestly, and again, Michael, be easy and gentle on yourself. You say you're trying to get over the end of a duplicitous friendship. He loves struggling, so you dislike him. I'm only reading what you're saying so that if anybody's watching it in the replay, they'll know what I'm commenting on. Um, Be gentle with yourself. We are humans. They tell us we ain't supposed to judge, but we like things and we don't like things. Either something feels good or it doesn't. Either it appeals to us or it doesn't. And in this case, this is a friendship that's ending. Allow yourself time to grieve it. Somebody doesn't have to physically expire off this planet for us to grieve their loss. Especially, it may be a very duplicitous friendship. It may be something that was truly toxic. Towards the end, it's really making you feel bad, second guessing life, and all of that. But at one point in time, you had some love for that brother. Because if you didn't, you would have never called him a friend. And if it's a friendship that lasted a while, it may take a while to completely separate your energy from it to where you are hardcore, hardwired as to, I don't want this anymore. You don't get no second chances. I'm not curious how you doing. I'm not going by your page to see the last time you posted. None of that. Understand that's just part of the human condition. We care about people. We do. Even those we have to cut loose. Trust me, I got plenty of them. Now I got firm about it, and I still have some that I cut out of my experience 3 or 4 years ago. And every now and then, they'll reach out on a fake channel or something else on Messenger because they don't have my phone number no more. But and every once in a while, I allow the conversation for a few minutes. But also, when I do that, I know for me that's a refresher course, a quick reminder. They wanted the opportunity to show me that they've changed, and I allow them that opportunity. But I also understand it don't matter whether they changed or not, they have to stay away from me. So they had their say. I don't feel no type of way about it, and I go on about my business. So the dislike will fade in time because you'll begin to see him as a damaged child. The more your spirituality increases, you'll realize you're dealing with a damaged child. And you ain't gonna say, not saying you're gonna go back and try to correct them, or because they'll try to convince you that if you so spiritual, you should allow them to continue to bring their negativity to you and feed off of you. No, no, no. But your spirit, because your spirituality ain't gonna never be, you ain't gonna be that spiritual or just continue to. Once you see it, you can't unsee it, and you ain't gonna let them people just keep doing you like that, and you're not supposed to. But your spirituality will soften how you feel about them, because at the end of the day, everybody's, believe it or not, and this is the hard part that people don't want to allow for, because we get in our righteous indignation when people do things that are not cool. But at the end of the day, everybody's doing the best they can from wherever they are in their energy and in their walk. Even the robber, even the PDF file, and all the rest of them. Because think about it. If they had any kind of intelligence, consciousness, or spirituality, they wouldn't do the god awful things that they do. So they're doing, truthfully, the best they can from wherever they're at in their spirituality and in their walk. Now, I'm not saying they're to be condoned, because truthfully, they're not. But when you think about the fact that they're going to have to face their pain on the other side when they have uh, their soul review, their life review, I don't envy them people nothing, because they will have to experience every bit of discomfort they ever caused somebody on this planet, and they'll experience it from their victim's point of view. That's why we don't have to worry about whether or not they get justice on this side, because they will get justice. Nobody can outrun karma. She got all our addresses. You know what I'm saying? All of us. Yep, the language, their media does cast spells, and people don't get that, Paul. When I unplugged from television, I unplugged from mainstream media in 1999. And when I started like going back around some of my friends and family and stuff around 2018, 19, 20, and was kind of a captive audience to where I would be like there for the weekend and I see whatever they're watching on TV. I could, when you have been away from the programming for a while and then you're exposed to it again, you can see it so clearly. They call it a television program. I don't know why people don't get that part. They're, yeah, and they do. They program mass media. I mean, mass consciousness through the various media outlets and religion and like our school systems, nothing gets taught on any level of our school systems anywhere, especially in the United States. I know for sure, but truthfully, nowhere. Nothing gets taught in those school systems that the government doesn't go by and allow or disallow first. You said he kept asking you, did I? He kept asking you, did you have feelings for him? Yet he had a girlfriend. Okay. Well, religion ain't supposed to sit well with you, Michael. But I don't understand why you're mad if some people are bisexual, some people are gay, some people are monogamous, and some people are polyandrous. So why are you going to be angry with him because he was asking if you have feelings for him? Maybe he wanted to know. I didn't say he was a good dude, but why would you be angry about that? Yeah, Paul Snow Cloud, show him love, but from afar. Sit paddling upstream with a toothpick. Yeah. Hey, Lunar Beats. I didn't see you come on in here. Welcome, welcome. Good for you, Pierre. You stepped away from religion. Awesome. Said don't judge, evaluate. Yeah. Um. Actually, in my opinion, and from what I've come to know and understand, what I've been shown, Stephen, that's not entirely true. There is, if we track, I mean, quantum entanglement is a real thing. I'm not saying that. I understand that because that was one of the early concepts I was shown in meditation. But true to much of what the Gnostics teach, I was also shown, like going back through the Watchers, the archangels, the angels, down to the aeons, down to the four who attend the one. Eventually, if we continue to expand further out into the universe, eventually there is a master architect of all of this. It's not random. So, truthfully, God is it tracks back to a singular, or if you will, a dualistic, because the first thing it did was separate itself unto itself and create divine masculine and divine feminine, not man and woman. The masculine and feminine principles were necessary for creation to happen. So, dismissing an intelligent designer, to me, in my opinion, is a little bit, that's some human arrogance that we do in our attempt to understand. But just because the ultimate divine doesn't choose to come in here and weigh into the mess that's happening here on earth doesn't mean they don't exist. Even the ones who came here and were our progenitors acknowledged that there is a divine creator. They referred to it as the creator of all, and the creator of all sent them messengers. So for us to turn around later, we are their creation, but the one who created us acknowledged that somebody created them and created this whole universe. For us to just turn around and dismiss all of that and say, oh no, no, it's just all quantum entanglement, that's simplifying a little too much, in my opinion. Yeah, we do have to have compassion and understanding. And again, some stuff ain't never gonna sit well with us. I mean, we could mention a few things in the history that'll probably get, the folks to come in and hate on us some more. And we don't have to continue to talk about them because we're all old enough to know what some of those pivotal moments in our fairly recent history are that are never gonna be a good thing. They're never gonna be right. But look at where mass consciousness is, and we still go for it. And they still put, honestly, I don't even understand how and why people still continue to elect the people that they elect and allow the crap that they allow in the governments on a regular and daily basis. I don't understand that. You said you manifested something weird the other day, Brittany. You forgot to charge them. You had your headphones. They watched the news at work. Your headphones were dead. They put the news on. Honestly, Brittany, I have stuff like that happen too. Not, I mean, the last time it happened to me, I was grumbling in my head. I cook for my roommate, and he doesn't drink soda or anything, so I brew tea for him. He likes peach tea or whatever, so I'll brew tea and then put it in a big mason jar and put it in the fridge. When he gets ready to go at night, he'll go and pack up his lunch, take his little mason jar and put his bag together, and off he goes to the airport. And over a year ago, I bought a silicone sleeve because he used the big half-gallon mason jars, and I bought a silicone sleeve to protect it. And he's never used it ever. And I was sitting there thinking, one of these days he's gonna wind up hitting that bag wrong and break that thing. I got it sitting right there on top of the little toaster thing where he could see it every day. And it quite literally sat there for almost a year. And I'm like, I don't know why he don't use it. And not long after I had that thought, he picked it up on his own. I never said it to him verbally, but I noticed a few days after I had that mental conversation in my head, he started using it. They do, but that's one of the reasons we have to just know what we know, Paul. You said we're all on a journey. We all share paths, sometimes together and walk paths alone to teach us personally. Just go with the flow, no worries. They all got their heads up their backsides, and they really do. But that's one of the reasons we're waking up and we understand that coming together, especially because of that whole quantum entanglement thing, when we know what we know and come together with our intentions, we are we're strong. Together, we are more powerful than the sum of our parts, put it that way. Oh, wow, Brittany. That's awesome. Right? It's coming. I'm trying to tell you, girl, it's coming. Like I said, that's part of the reason after that conversation we had the other day. And I'm like, you know what? We really need to do some collective manifesting. So that's why I have made the suggestion about doing that collective full moon ritual. Put our intentions in there for what we're releasing and purging and what we're bringing in, our individual stuff and our group stuff. And then, like I said, I got a big, well, it's not a burn bowl, it's huge, truthfully, because they tell you not to throw away your ancestor money, ashes, and things like that. So I got like a big pot because I knew it would be a long time before I was able to take it out and to go somewhere and either float it in the river or bury it all and all of that. Um, but yeah, I was like, maybe we need to just do a little something, something together. Said clairvoyance. If honestly, bro, 100. I think it's a combination of both. Sometimes it's clairvoyance or picking up on thoughts that are already there, but we're also very powerful manifesting beings. So sometimes we are actually launching that thought ourselves too, and launching it into the unified field for somebody else to pick up as well. I had right before my big tower moment in 2018, I was living with my ex. We were not romantically, like, reconciliation was completely off the table. He lured me down to Sarasota on a lie. Thought I was going down there to help him build a business that would have been the beginning of building legacy for our daughter. And he will work hard. He doesn't always work smart. So I thought, if I go down there and get everything set up and all of that, I can structure it in such a way that he wouldn't be able to mess it up as easily. So even though I kind of knew it was going to be some shit, I went down anyway. And of course, I got there and found out that was a complete lie and all of that. But I wound up staying for a while. And I mean, when spirits start moving me around, it don't always look like what I thought it was going to look like. But I've learned to like you said, go with it. So I'm not complaining about any of that. But when right before the tower fell, when I got there to Sarasota, I actually wound up. I ain't gonna say it was the absolute most money I've ever made, but close to it. I don't know, between the job that I had left before, and I didn't leave that job to go to Sarasota. I had left that other job for physical reasons. I got hurt on the job and just could not physically do it because I was a server in a tavern with like 3 or 4 flights of stairs every day, and it was getting to be a bit much on my knees. But when I got to Sarasota, I landed in a job that basically within a few $100s was the same amount of income. So I was doing okay there. And but again, I didn't know some of the issues that came with him. But this I helped him manifest 2 different vehicles. And of course, his taste, again, he was one of the people that don't know nothing about cars but want to know and this and that. Anyway, long story short, one of them was overpriced, and we basically wound up getting rid of that. The other one, it was a really bad choice, but he was dog set on getting it. I didn't argue. We were heading up to go visit his oldest daughter, and the car broke down. We weren't driving that. Our daughter had it, and it broke down while we were on the trip. And I knew it was a ragged. It was like a BMW 540. I forgot the. I think it was 540 AI, whatever it was. It was like the sorriest BMW they ever made. Everything under that hood that should have been metal was plastic. We rented a vehicle to go up on that trip, and he wound up renting a Dodge Journey. And I was sitting there driving the night, and I had never, I don't, like I said, I don't do mainstream television. I hadn't really been seeing them. I wasn't in the vehicles like that. That was the first time I had really paid any attention to the Journey, but I enjoyed driving it and all the rest of that. And I was like doing the late night shift. He was asleep, and I was going down the highway, and I kept thinking, I ain't in no position to buy a car right now, and I really ain't even trying to buy a vehicle. But if I was to get a vehicle, I actually kind of like this one. I think I like this, but I don't think I would get it in this gray color or white. I think I'd like it in like a deep kind of a teal, like a midnight blue, maybe a metallic blue or something like that. And again, this is not something I was saying aloud. It's a conversation I was having in my head, and something was wrong with that journey. When we got up to North Carolina, we had to stop at the rental place and swap it out for another one. We still didn't get that color. I think we had a white one to start with and wound up with a gray one or whatever. But for whatever reason, I saw it in my head in deep blue. We got back to Florida and found out that the BMW had broken down. He decided he was going to go, like I said, long story a little bit shorter. He wound up going without me to look at a vehicle and this, that, and the third. And the next thing I know, I looked downstairs one day, and the vehicle that I had envisioned in my head, same color and all, is in our parking spot. Now he turned around and totaled that vehicle 3 months later, and then I was on my way to Atlanta. But yeah, that kind of stuff happens to me all the time. And when he turned around a couple years later and did my oldest daughter dirty, they were supposed to go into some kind of a food truck business or whatever together. And her girl were moving down to Florida basically to go into this thing together. And he was supposed to put up however much to get the truck or help them with the food business, whatever they had done together, because they grown, he grown. I wasn't in their business to get all the details, but they were literally packed up, had their U-Haul ready to go, all the rest of that. And then he flaked out on them and never came up with the money that he was supposed to. So they had ended their lease, packed up their entire house, and was literally in Richmond, Virginia, without enough money to even get to the house that they had rented. They had worked with a very reputable realtor and all the rest of that stuff and rented a house in Florida. But they had went ahead, he kept delaying on the money that he was supposed to put up for the food thing. And they were like, well, whatever. When he comes up with it, we'll use that for the gas money and blah, blah, blah. We'll make up the end, because they transfer their jobs, everything. And they were stuck. And she called me hysterical. And I comforted her as best I could. And I was like, baby, I don't mean no harm, and I'd love to be on the phone with you, but let mama go do what mama do, and I'll get back with you. I went outside on the patio and I went into prayer and I did other things, whatever. I ain't got to get all up into that. But the following morning, they her girl went down to the bank to see about getting I think it was a money order or something like that. Anyway, long story short, she didn't even go in there. She didn't think that her credit would even allow her to get a loan. And she went in the bank to get a money order or get some change or something she went to do, and walked out of that bank with like $2,500 in her bank account. Loan approved and funded on the spot. And they was on their way. And they got down there, did what they had to do. A few months later, since everything had fallen apart with him, I wound up on a hunch one day. I heard, check on my girl that I used to work with. Like I said, I hated the job, loved the people that I worked with, but I was here in Atlanta and I followed my hunch to reach out to my former coworker in Messenger. And within 15 minutes and a text message, I had my old job back in Sarasota, and I went back there with them. And when I got there, I was tripping the hell out because I had no idea where the house was that they had rented. They weren't in the ghetto. They was right there by Money Mile, quite literally a half a block away from the Ritz-Carlton. In fact, I just posted, it's a very blurry, grainy, full moon pic because I wanted a shot of the moon, and I don't even know what was wrong. I had something. Anyway, but that was taken from the front porch of that house that we stayed in for like 2 or 3 years, right down there by all, I mean, it was crazy. They stayed there until somebody, the developers, it was an older house, but somebody bought those houses to knock them down and put like condos and stuff there. But it would have been a place that we would not have been able to afford. But the energy was so clean. The neighborhood was nice. It was a quiet, quiet street within walking distance to the pier, walking distance to everything else, and literally less than a mile from the Gulf of Mexico. Like I say, I've been manifesting stuff for other people all the time. So I'm like, you know what? We need to put our heads together and do some stuff for real. And truthfully, Paul, or actually, yeah, bro, 100. Once we understand that, and the world calls us crazy, the world calls us delusional, all kinds of stuff. But when we understand that we are all quantumly entangled, and that this reality is fluid and very flexible, if we can get away from the mind chatter that they tell us what we can't do, we can do a whole lot more of that because we tap into the field and literally pull ideas out of the unified field into the 3D manifested reality. So, yeah. And the less desperation you put around it when you learn to just go with the flow, the easier it is. Obviously, I'm not a magician or a sorcerer. I can't promise it's going to happen each and every time. But a lot of times when you just have fun with it and roll with it, beautiful things happen for sure. What else we gonna talk about, y'all? We've been talking about manifestations, which I mean that ain't a bad subject. Oh, that's the other thing that I wanted to mention before. When I first came into the live stream, I was thinking about making the announcement about the group manifestation ritual, and I've been debating whether I should do it all day or not. Now I knew we were not gonna pull tarot as far as a complete reading, but just for busy work for my hands, I was shuffling this Intuit Oracle deck. And when I shuffled it, three cards came out of it. And then what was left in the split, I was like, I know for sure that I need to go ahead on and bring this to the collective's attention. The card that came out of it was Wheel of Fortune. Fate, karma, cycles, forces of the universe, get what you deserve, destiny and synchronicity. A timing card came out of here with Pisces, the mutable sign of water, and this full moon is in Pisces, and Saturn is in Pisces right now. And this is the moon card. And then Saturn, the regulator, came out: accomplishment, duty, completion of cycles. This represents the world card. Those were the three cards that came out of that deck when I was just handling it just for giggles. And in the split, the albatross card here was of good omen, and sun, the bringer of life. Those two cards came out. When I saw that, I'm like, oh yeah, we got to do this. We got to do this. Oh my goodness. And I peeled those two cards back from the cut, and the Emperor and the Magician are here. That's crazy. Let me see what's on the top of the deck. Since, you know. Ooh, new moon is here and coffin is here. So that idea of purging and releasing and something else, death, rebirth, which I was talking about doing a releasing ritual, to do a burn ritual, and also do a manifestation ritual. That works. That's wild. So yeah. You said your issue with manifestation, will you have any resistance? Yeah, you're doing the 30-day lock it in challenge where you're taking 10 minutes multiple times a day just repeating. That's good too. Um, I'm trying to think. I was considering doing that with like I got to tailor an affirmation for it, but doing a 369 challenge similar. It's like for every day you do it like three times, say it three times, like in the morning, three times, six times in the evening, nine times in the morning, afternoon, and evening, but three times, then six times, then nine times. Hey, Amanda, how are you? Welcome, welcome. And honestly, I'll have to figure out which one I want to do, Brittany, because part of what I'm also going to do, and again, those that are interested, I'm going to compile an email with a lot of the things, because there's some other things you can do at home as well. It's like purifying your name, putting it in salt under your bed while we do this, and release it later, because the full moon is here. But then if we follow through with something on the new moon, then I honestly think that that's going to be beneficial as well. And that would be a very good time to start, like say a 30-day, some kind of a 30-day challenge, reset my fast, everything. Exactly, Paul. That's why I said, but I do want to give it some thought, so that, because I have a tendency when I sit down for personal stuff like that, I'll write a petition, and it's more like a letter type scenario, but I need to get it down to the bullet points, especially if I'm going to be setting intention and actually bringing into ceremony other people's intentions. I can't hog up all the time, because genuinely, especially because of the energy of the numbers, I want to do a progression. Like I said, I want to start my bath ritual at 7:07, be on the live stream by 8:08, begin the manifestation ritual by 10:10, so that I can finish it by 11:11. So So I just gotta, and again, like I said, I think taking time to pare it down will help me, instead of just trying to throw everything at the wall. If you're gonna be intentional, you got to really, really be intentional and kind of put it down there. You took a bay leaf and wrote 10,000 on one and 25,000 on another one. Your dad got three checks in the mail for the exact amount you wrote, plus one for 4K. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. And I do, for those that are, there will be, like I said, for those that are interested in joining the full moon ritual this week, I'm going to be making some moon water anyway. But I will be doing a bay leaf ritual, and truthfully, if you want to multiply that, you can get bay leaves as well. Write your personal intentions, or we can put them in mine. We can burn them collectively, and yeah. But I'm also considering, because I keep talking about these candle situation. I haven't dug my wax and stuff out in a minute, and I'm thinking about going into that closet and seeing. I know I don't have a lot of jars, but I do have some. I might be able to make it like a dozen, maybe even 2 dozen candles. I got to see how many containers I've got. I know I've got wood wicks in there, and I know I've got enough wax to make a couple dozen candles. And I even have some crystals and stones and stuff. I'd have to bring them out so I can get them in salt water. I mean, get them down into salt for a couple of days. But when I do go out there for the meditation, I'm gonna meditate with those crystals too. That's awesome, Brittany. Though, yeah, I need because look, I know what we all working with. Remember, we were in the live stream for a minute and a half yesterday. So yeah, we gotta come up with some stuff. So, and again, it's not from a point of yeah, like I said, just flow with it. Why not? Why not? It come when it come, however it come. But guess what? What is that? The scriptures say, "You ask not, you have not, because you ask not." That part. Oh, that was nice. He bought you a camper. He should have. You done manifested a grip for him. He should have bought you a camper. And truthfully, I honestly think that it's especially the way energy is flowing and the timelines keep shifting and all of that stuff. I think manifesting money is going to start getting easier because it's all just digital play at this point. I mean, yeah, they print physical money, but how many of us actually handle that kind of money? We're photocopying checks and checking bank accounts and all that. It's all transfers of ones and zeros inside of a computer now. So, yeah. Ooh, Paul, you hunt for crystals and gemstones. I love that. I haven't been able to do that yet, but I would. Oh, that sounds awesome. You feel sick also? What'd you say? You know what, y'all? I it's the group is a little smaller when we're in subscriber only mode, but I love the peace and quiet of this. I can't even lie. So you check your ATM, they give you your money back. That's awesome. Oh, you like to search for the gemstones and crystals and stuff. Okay, I get it. I wasn't sure. I know how these typos be doing sometimes in the live in the chat, but yeah. Me too, Brittany. I can't even remember. And Little Goons can't interfere for real. I was in somebody's. I scrolled by. It wasn't even a reader that I'm subscribed to. I think she reads for Virgos primarily, but she was in this stream and she was going off and they were going at her left and right and I'm like, but then again, the more she started getting worked up in her end, I mean, she got way worked up and she was cussing and fussing and all that. And see, they love that kind of nonsense. And I made the mistake of like, look, I was like, I get it, they get to me too. I said, but my collective reminded me I'm here to serve the collective. I'm not serving nobody if I'm sitting here spending time arguing and cussing with the goons, you know. But her people like that kind of drama. But when I came back into the stream and listened to what she was saying, it's a reason I'm not subscribed to her and had never been led to subscribe to her. That's not an energy that I think I've ever embodied. I wouldn't even before I got to this part of my spiritual journey, I would never have subscribed to a tarot reader that was on that type of time because I was more healed than that. And I'm not trying to criticize that sister, everybody at where they at, you know. But no, I ain't got time for that. Like some of those readers that be getting all up in the messy Hollywood drama and be reading and all of them nasty toxic energies and stuff. I can't. That's just not for me. If spirit led me to look, but again, I don't read on personal people like that. I do general readings for the collective, but these are the people that have shared that energy exchange of a thumbs up or subscribing to the channel. But just to be reading in strangers' energies, especially people that are embroiled in messy stuff like that, I couldn't do it. Exactly. I'm not knocking nobody. They hustle. That's just not for me. That's not the intention I set. That's not the relationship I have with my spirit team. Um, and I don't really think it serves anybody because the people that the energies they're digging around in, those people aren't gonna watch those. Those people ain't asked them to read for them. So you just basically doing it to be gossipy and nosy and to have something to talk about and to get other gossipy and nosy people pulled into your tribe. And that's not, that ain't for me. But like you say, I see it every time I go into um, the the stream. I see all kind of stuff on YouTube that I don't necessarily rock with, so I just keep scrolling. I don't say nothing. I just keep it moving. Oh, I did want to mention though. The other day, I was upset when I saw that copyright thing on one of the live streams. It went away. So again, I think that was retaliatory foolishness because that was the night that we reported those people for hate speech. And instead of something happening to them, there was, I just saw that. Did y'all see that? But hey, at least it was light coming through. There was a moth or a gnat or something that got caught in my, it's still in the my light over here, but that little flash thing, that wasn't the lamp doing that. That was just, I don't know if that was an orb shooting by or what, but it was interesting. I'm gonna light some incense. Bear with me, y'all. Hold on, I'm trying to light this candle and it ain't. It's storming gently. Ooh, I love. Look, I even like the rough storms as long as it's not, at a point where it's putting people's lives in danger. But I mean, lightning and thunder don't. I love thunder. I'll open the window as long as the rain ain't coming in sideways and messing up the windowsill because I'm not trying to be growing mold in the walls or nothing. But I love storms. But if it's a mild storm, that's cool. I saw a little bit of lightning earlier, but it was far away and it was so gentle that I didn't even hear the thunder that came with it. Antoine, honestly, I believe so. And the reason I believe so is I don't know how long they were there, not there, whatever the case may be. But if he was still around in Yeshua's day, in order to say from the heavens, "This is my son, the beloved, whom I have approved. Listen to him." That's a solid timeline that we can look towards. That was 20. That was 2,000 years ago. That's not even a whole year in Nibiru time. One of their years is 3,600 years, and at the end of the Lost Book of Enki, they were aging badly as compared to the people that were still on Nibiru, but they had also figured out that they needed to spend more time in stasis. They went into the halls of Amenti and all of that and spend time in the Aguanti. So I have no doubt in my mind that they could send rejuvenation chambers back from Mars, and they could do. They had their technologies, and remember, they had some of the fruits and stuff that they were growing on Nibiru, the tree of life, was here, and those herbs and things that they used. So unless he got into a physical altercation with someone that we don't know about and they chose not to write about, there's no reason health wise that he shouldn't still be alive. Because, like I said, Jesus walked the earth less than a year ago, their time. It's ancient history to us because we only live 80 years. But look at the Sumerian kings list when they was ruling for 40, 50, 60,000 of our years. And Anu been ruling on Nibiru for like 20 or 30, like at least 20 shars now. So I really believe Enki is very much still alive. He almost has to be though, because like I said, the Hindu tradition follows him, the Yoruba pantheon follows him, and all of them show him as a god of water and very, very handsome. So some of them folks actually knew what he looked like. They all show him looking kind of sort of similar. Bear with me a moment, y'all. I'm burning incense, but just to make sure when that little whatever that was that flashed by, I'm also lighting some Palo Santo up in here because I hadn't done that today. So I'm just take forever to catch that stuff up. Oh, okay. So something electrical going on and flash at the same time and lightning flash at your house, then that'll work. I get it. Some kind of electrical. That's cool though. Do you mind telling me what state you live in, Paul? Because I mean, it's I didn't see any kind of lightning or anything over here, but that would be very interesting to know that we genuinely are that entangled and connected in this group. You lighting Palo Santo too? Yeah, I I think I got that's frankincense incense I lit, but I just yeah. I honestly feel like they didn't really mention you in South Carolina. Okay, not too terribly far away then, but that's still. I mean, I wouldn't. I didn't see the lightning, so we're not under the same. Obviously it was far, far away, but I just think that that was super cool. Could be, could be Antoine. They merge in and out through several of them. It's like when we talk to Muslims and they don't want to acknowledge that Enlil has ties to El. At one point in time, El was recognized as a separate entity, but interestingly enough, because the Jews were henotheistic, El and Asherah and Yahweh were kind of worshipped together, and then eventually Yahweh just absorbed El. So truthfully, they're still the same. They're connected. Exactly. It's different stories because some say that Enki is Shiva, but then Krishna is kind of a blanketing thing, kind of like Oludamari branches off into a bunch of things, and Legua has several different aspects of him as well. Yeah, and they're all basically exactly, Stephen. They all came off of a spaceship somewhere. They're none of them are the alpha omega all powerful sky daddies. They are powerful, but the lies we've been told about who the gods really are, they're all in some form or other extraterrestrial beings that came here and manipulated the life forms here, established governments and all the rest of that stuff here, set up worship and stuff here. If it were not for them, we would still be roaming through the jungle somewhere because they short circuited the evolutionary timetable. We would have eventually gotten there, 3, 4 million years from now, but they short circuited it, and that's all good. I'm grateful. You say you're going through several personal and intense initiations right now, and you wonder if I've done any, or if you would mind doing a personal ordination ceremony. Ordination, I'm not sure because I feel like I'm going through initiations as well. But that was Valerie. That was one of the reasons. I don't know if you were here when I had mentioned doing a group ceremony for the full moon, and I need to do a little meditation on that and see. Um, I will be honest with you. If we do anything by the way of any deeper ceremonies like that, they will probably be off of YouTube. Like go in through the WhatsApp group or something where we won't be so monitored and judged as that. Um, but yeah, yeah. And they, like I said, that the whole religion thing over time, they do a lot of different things like that. History, they've all treated, especially the more non-violent spiritual practices have kind of been manhandled and treated very poorly by various factions of the Abrahamic religions over time. And Valerie, why don't if you're I don't know if you're in the WhatsApp group or not, but if you're not, I mean if you are, just DM me personally, and if you aren't, then you can email me and I'll shoot you my phone number and we can text, or you can jump on WhatsApp or some kind of way we'll get a chance so we can talk. I don't know if Robin is in here because I had texted her earlier, but she didn't get an opportunity to respond back. Some of this stuff again, and it's not that I mind, I'm a little cautious because I know for a fact that some folks were trying to do binding spells on me. And it's not that I dip around. Like I said, I don't believe in doing spell work on that level for anyone, and ain't nobody gonna pay me to do none neither. But because of that, I'm a little hesitant to show them everything about my process by recording it here. I have typically been just doing things for myself, which I'm not saying that we can't do things together, because, like I said, we are more powerful together than we are separate. I don't mind us doing things together. I just got to figure out how much. Did I ever send you the WhatsApp? Okay. Brittany, you know what? I didn't. I didn't go in Instagram, and I'm sorry. I'm gonna write myself a note. I forgot. By the time I got off the live stream, I kind of crashed and burned, and I apologize. I will go in on my Instagram and check to see if anybody sent me DMs there, and I will be very happy to send you the link for it. I hesitate to even drop that link there though, because that is tied to my real phone number, and here in YouTube, that's like literally inviting these clowns into your space. You can at least vet them a little bit through Instagram or WhatsApp. So I don't know. Let me see. 9, 4. Bear with me. Send links. Yeah. Yeah. I think if I add you to my contacts, it will. But that's what I was saying. If you said you reached out to me in Instagram, and I just didn't. So I'll send you the link, and then when we get it, once you get in there, we can DM each other. I don't mind any of y'all that are we on the right kind of time. I don't care about y'all having my real phone number. I just didn't want to put it out here on YouTube like that, knowing some of the clowns that's been coming after me. So yeah. And that's honestly, that's the, like I said, I apologize. I have an account. It is Modern Mystic Messages on Instagram. I just had gotten frustrated with Instagram. So I hadn't been on there checking since I wasn't posting there. Every time I try to post something on Instagram, I have about a 50-50 success ratio. So I'll try to post something one day and it might load. And then the next time, I'd be trying like 5, 10, 15 times trying to upload something there. They keep getting error messages, and I get frustrated and just leave it alone after that. That's why I had stopped uploading content to Instagram. But I'm gonna have to pick that back up too, because the message that I have here is important. But some of these folks on Instagram wouldn't necessarily hear it either. So that's my bad. And truthfully, we're talking about Brittany mentioned a 30-day challenge. I probably need to create for myself a 30 or 40-day challenge, and part of it needs to be consistently uploading to a second media outlet, maybe even going ahead and rocking with TikTok or something to get that rolling too. Because honestly, that's where I would probably wind up getting like creating an income for myself, is creating a following on TikTok and linking a TikTok shop to it. You're a cosmic light worker for the uplifting of humanity with a clean and clear spirit of integrity. Right. And that's what I'm saying. It's Valerie. I don't know. I know because our intentions are pure that there's some folks out there that they know better than we do who we are and what we're about and what we're called to do. And what we're called to do is the reason why they're coming after us so hard. So I just hesitate to be is Pollyanna naive as I used to be, because it was that level of naivety that had me stuckity stuck, while all of them people with their big Jesus pieces was smiling in my face, telling me how much they love me and doing spell work behind my back. Oh, you said 90 days, Brittany? Okay, cool. Because honestly, I got to sit back and map it out. I was thinking about doing a 100-day challenge for myself, like especially between like I said, I got to do the 40-day fast anyway. And then if I did a 40-day fast, the 30-day juice cleanse, the 30-day raw vegan, and then go into the keto pescatarian thing, as far as that, because it's taken me through an initiation by levels, and I get that part. But the reason I wanted to, excuse me, be a little more public about it than I have in the past, because I get caught up in my head and all that. It's hard staying focused when you're here by yourself. The transparency will help me be more accountable, as well as be something for me to be able to go back and look at later to see how the alignment and how the messages change the further into those fasts and initiations that I get. Because, like I said, initiation is not a one and done for most of us anyway. I've been aware that I've like being brought on the path of the initiate for years now, but even now, since October of last year, it it shifted into something more significant. It was kind of the beginning of, dare I say it, judgment day for my enemies. And I'm not even trying to be funny. I became aware, like I said, I was led to the Lost Book of Enki probably in June or July. I saw it for the first time. My grandson's birthday is on October the 10th. Yeah, he was born 10/10 of 2020. That part. I don't even know who he is spiritually yet, but that little dude ain't no regular. But I went down to visit my daughter for his birthday party. Were having it like on I went the weekend of the 20th. The weekend before that, on October the 13th, which was a Friday the 13th, one of my four major toxic karmic soulmates, the father of my oldest child, suddenly passed away while he transitioned while he was on a little weekend trip with her and her brothers and her sister and brothers. And later on, I came to understand, I mean, he transitioned. um the one that was doing the spell work is struggling to keep his eyesight and having a lot of health issues. He got the seizure disorder and all that other stuff. The other one that bankrupted me and really set me down this path, the youngest child's father, was diagnosed with cancer. The other one had a stroke and got cancer. You know what I'm saying? It was like all of them, the roundup started being made aware to me in that October point, and I understood that that former way of life. Like I said, when I say I'm in a rebirth cycle, again, I don't wish nothing bad on nobody, but touch not my anointed, do my prophet no harm. And they just kept on and kept on and kept on, and they're all in a bad way right now. And I understood that I was being separated from one way of life and being, like I say, on an initiation rebirth path ever since. Hey, Unique, how are you, my love? Welcome. Ooh, goodness, you've been on a watermelon fast for 30 days. Awesome, Paul. I was thinking about, since the season is ending, I'm thinking about getting two. That probably will take me through. If yeah, I might get some later, but right now, because I don't drive, I don't have access to a car anymore. I'm here in Atlanta, and my roommate is a former New Yorker, and he don't need a vehicle. So when his car conked out, he decided not to replace one, and I'm not trying to buy one because when my money get right, I'm on my way up out the country. I don't need to be under a car note, and I'm glad I didn't, because when I had the credit score and the income to get the car, that was all well and good, and then I got laid off. So I just do my shopping and stuff through like shopping apps and Amazon, the grocery and Whole Foods delivery and that kind of stuff. So I might get me a couple of watermelons to take myself into this fast, but yeah, I'm not gonna do the whole 30 days, but maybe a week or two. You said something has to give. You were doing really well, multiple vehicles, money, lost it all when you separated. You gained an awakening, but you want the physical stuff back. Yeah. And that's kind of, it's like I lost everything, and I didn't have a whole lot to start with. But like I say, I was a lot more comfortable than I'm at now. But I had to understand that to to stop trying to go and rebuild the wrong way, because this ain't the first time that I've been kicked down to the slats and had to rebuild. But I'm jumping up doing stuff from my have to, and still haven't ever gotten to what spirit was showing me that I needed to do this go around. So it does need to be a little bit different, but I'm ready to have some stuff back too. Like I said, it's fine. I'm not complaining, and I'm glad to know how much I've learned to do, how much I've learned to make do with what I have. But I do understand that I've spent quite a lot of time in this hermit mode and limbo thing, and it's time for me to come out of the cave and back into life, which requires some operating capital. It just does. The things that I've been shown that I'm supposed to do require money. I can't jump on a plane and go over here and do that, and that. All of that requires some money. I understand what you're saying, Brittany. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Thankfully, my children are all grown and they're doing fine, so I'm cool with that. You said you just came off a 12-day liquid and watermelon fast. Awesome. I've been doing like OMAD, and like I said, I've been doing like every other day, make it to 3 days sometimes, but I'm starting to get hangry, that sort of stuff, which I'm having issues with inflammation, and it makes it a little, but I have been very, very good since the first, or basically since, what did we first start talking about it? I think it was around the 27th, 28th or something like that. I haven't been doing like sugar and all that good stuff. I had like a half a glass of his tea the other day when I was, because it was like too much to pour in the thing, and I drank that. Well, that was the first time I'd had a sugary drink in forever. Um, and other than that, it's just been like a little, if I get anything, it'll be like a little bowl of whatever I made for dinner for him. But I haven't been door dashing nothing. I haven't been eating any sugary stuff. I haven't had any meat either. No sugar, no meat. I did have a little gluten because one of the things I made for him was like a vegan beefaroni thing. So there was some pasta in it, but that's about it. You said it is different when you walk amongst the living. I'm a hermit too. Like I said, yeah. And honestly, I would love to stay in hermit mode for a minute. And I know I'm never going to be as social as I once was, because a lot of that was just trying to get along for the sake of getting along with people. I've always been very much an extroverted introvert. So uh, I forgot to weigh the other day too. That's sad. Well, no, it ain't. I understand. I need to lose the stuff. Right. You don't want to lose anymore. Okay. That's what's up, Brittany. I'm still a little aggravated with myself because, like I said, I had lost 80 pounds and messed around and put every bit of it back. Well, except for like five maybe, but yeah, every bit of it back. So I've got to get myself back down where I need to be. Yep. When I was working from home. So I talked because I was on the phone all day with people and I'd be on webcam when I needed to. And then they started a thing where we had to go into the office one day a week. So that was the only thing that kept me from being a true hermit. That and grocery shopping. When I had the car on grocery days, I would make a day of it and go out to the international market, the farmers market, and all that other good stuff. Oh, you said you on the okay? Yeah, no. I haven't done a GLP-1 as mine was all just straight intermittent fasting. And I mean a little exercise, but even that wasn't strenuous exercise. I started out because my knees were hurting so bad when I first started. I was on the yoga ball, and when I got up and started doing like the five Tibetans and dance therapy and that kind of stuff. You ate the barbecue, Anton? I mean, bro, 100. I ain't mad at you, boo, because honey, like I said, I was thinking about, oh, this is a little spot up the road got barbecue chicken, and it'd be so good. But I'm just trying to be really, really good and intentional. It's been so long since I felt real hungry. It's like today I'm actually feeling hungry, but I haven't. I'm hoping I don't hit the wall this time, Brittany, because I've yo-yoed so much. However, when I started in the other day, well, again, I'm throwing so much inflammation. I won't really know what my fasting schedule situation is going to look like until I get past probably the first 20 pounds or so, because a lot of mine is inflammation at this point. Um, but typically, if I'm not exercising, I'll still lose between a pound and a half and 2 pounds a day. If I actually exercise, then I can typically bump it up to about between two and two and a half. That's good to know because I do have some berberine here, Paul, and I need to get more consistent with it. I've got some berberine, but I don't take anything consistently. But during this, like I said, under this challenge, that's something that I'm gonna have to do too. Is just really, really get consistent with my supplements and everything else. Oh wow, I wish. And I see. I stole your metabolism. That's what it is, bro. 100. You were cursed with a fast metabolism, and I got one of the slowest metabolisms on the planet. And here's the thing: you said eating well is hard, Michael. For my size, people would assume that I eat like them people on my 600-pound life. I have regular size friends. I've even had some friends that my roommate. That dude is 5'7", and with all his clothes on, he be strong. I think he just got to where he broke 150 pounds within the last year or two, and that's only because I'm he's able to eat better because I'm cooking for him now. When he was doing, he ate like two meals, two people size meals at every meal, but he was eating out all the time. But he eats so much food. I don't know. I honestly cook for like six people, and he eats that and he stays small. And he comments, he was like, "You really don't eat nothing." I'll be sitting here with my little bowl and I'll be full, I'm satisfied. And he's going in with this plate piled up. So honestly, when I first moved in with him and the times that we would like eat together, it would make me sick to my stomach watching him eat because he ate so much. I couldn't even conceive how one person could eat that much. Never mind the fact that he was little, just he eats like that and it's fine. Don't bother him in the slightest. I've never been able to eat like that. I'll go back and check, but I'm sure I did get it if you sent me one, Valerie. I probably forgot what you put in it because again, my head been on a it ain't been on a swivel. It's been like running around with my like a chicken with my head cut off. but not really getting anything done. But I haven't erased anything, so I definitely will go back and see what you're talking about in the emails for sure. Oh wow. Honestly, I haven't been tested for allergies, but I know for a fact I was diagnosed supposedly as having rheumatoid arthritis from the age of like 11 or 12. But if I genuinely had rheumatoid arthritis, I'd be gnarled by now at 57, and I'm not. But when I started fasting and stuff and naturally started peeling things out of my diet, when I like get on a hardcore fast after 5 or 6 days, I can take the stairs without my knees hurting. The inflammation starts coming down. My knees and back aren't hurting anymore. And then I found out completely by accident because I was doing that when I first got here, and my girlfriend was having an issue with her now ex-husband, but they were still married at the time. But he was clowning, and I had to go pick her up, and she stayed with us for like 4 or 5 days when she first separated from him. And we were like chilling and eating, and she wanted ice cream and whatever, and I had been fasting for like 4 or 5 days. I broke the fast, and we went to Publix, and I got a foot long sub, and eating one sub, the following morning, I could barely get out of bed. My knees were hurting so bad. And that let me know right then and there it's not arthritis, it's this damn gluten. I'm very gluten sensitive at this point and just didn't even realize. And I'm going to try that, Paul, because I got castor oil up there. I've got the mugwort stuff where we do the moxibustion and all the rest of that. But for real, ain't none of it going to work if I keep putting gluten in my body. And eventually I may be able to eat it again, but gluten is a cumulative effect. That's the reason why a lot of people don't understand that they're sensitive to it, because unless or until it builds up in your joints so much that it's hurting you, you won't understand it. I'm not doubled over like if I had Crohn's or something. It's not painful for me to eat it. It's just I didn't realize that a lot of the weight that I was holding was an inflammatory response to it, until the inflammation became so severe the body had nowhere else to put it, and it's causing my joints to lock up and hurt. I was talking to him. It was actually one of those situations where somebody just walk up to you. I was at the grocery store one day, not the grocery store. I forgot where I was at. Oh, I was taking a friend of mine. I was on the south end of town, and I walked into a gas station, and I went to the restroom and struck up a conversation with an older lady there. And she noticed how I was limping, and she was like, "As young as you are, you walking like that?" And I was telling her about I discovered the gluten thing, and she was telling me, she said, no, you're gonna have to get like fast way, like wean way off of it. But eventually, once you get it fully out of your system, you may be able to eat it again, but just in limited amounts. And truthfully, I thought about it. Once I actually get all the way off it, like once I start traveling, it probably won't be an issue in other countries because they don't use GMO wheat like we do here. It's not the wheat itself, it's the modified wheat, because it's 3 times higher in gluten than heirloom wheat. So that's how you build up a sensitivity. Be broke and eat cheap, genetically modified stuff here, and then you wind up with a severe allergy, a severe sensitivity to it because, yeah. And for a long time, I've never been heavy on the pasta. But for a while, especially when I was working, supporting, with my kids, I was a single parent, this and that, wouldn't be nothing for me to grab and make myself a sandwich, go somewhere and order pizza for the kids. I was working at a tavern that was heavy, so it's like over time, not eating a lot of it per se, but if you're already sensitive and what you're eating is genetically modified product that's got triple the gluten in it than it would normally have, you create a problem for yourself. Oh yeah, bro, 100. If Enlil was human, ain't no if he was human. If he was just still here freely walking amongst us, he'd be at the barbecue watching football and drinking alcohol like crazy. In a couple of the pantheons, if you go back and trace back the history, and that's the project. Let me write my note for that too. I got to go back and do that video about the I'm gonna write history of Enlil. In the past, one of his other names was Bacchus, the Bacchanal, the god of wine and merriment, and Dionysus. He was all about orgies and revelry and abandonment and drunkenness and didn't really give a shit. And the one time he made an exception to showing his face to humans, he was the one that said if we were to see his face, we were to be unalive. He was the one that made that rule. But for something to eat, he broke that rule. Go look at Genesis chapter 18. He showed up with two of his messengers, and Abraham told him to hold up, told Sarah to go and make the cakes for him. And I think they had curds and some kind of wheat bread she made. And he went and had them slaughter. Um, it was either a sheep or a goat, whatever it was. And he cooked it, and they sat down. They waited around long enough to get that food. And guess what? They didn't have no Frigidaire, no Kenmore oven, so it would have had to have been some kind of grilled meat for them to be able to sit down and take that meat from slaughter, bleed it, and cook it, and have him there as a guest in the house and preparing it. That's barbecue, baby, all day. Honestly, Brittany, I'm noticing too. Like you said, you're more sensitive to certain foods, but they all bother you to some extent. And that was another thing I was going to get at, especially since like 2020 was when I started noticing it. We're evolving, especially those of us that are kind of on this path. You'll find that you're getting more and more sensitive to just about everything. If it ain't clean, fresh, live food, almost everything that is processed or dead already does not sit well in the body. Now I can go in there and do the cucumber salad thing they do on TikTok and all of that, and I'm gonna have to leave the cheese out of it. I can do a little bit of the cheese and get away with it, but yeah, I can eat raw, make me a raw spinach salad with some tomatoes and cucumbers and all of that, and I can kind of sort of get away with the dressing if I get one that doesn't have like the maltodextrin and the high sodium content, high sugar content, and all of that. I'm fine on salad, but even when I do something that they consider healthy, let me go in there and make some salmon with the rice. And even if I cook like steamed or quickly pan sear the spinach and the mushrooms and all that, I'll eat it and it won't do me as bad as pasta. But even salmon will cause me to hurt now, kind of, sort of, until I get this all the way out the way. Yeah, I mean, I get it that they talk about refrigerating rice and freezing bread and all of that to lower the carb load on it. But I done kind of hit the wall health wise with it. I need to just put it all the way down for a little bit. I really do need to just change the way I'm looking at it. And like Brittany and I were talking about, if going through a 90-day challenge or a 100-day challenge, excuse me, will be a really good way for me to reset some of this stuff. And by then, when the inflammation comes down to where I'm not hurting, then I'll feel better and I'm able to start exercising. If I get on the exercise train, some kind of movement, yoga, tai chi, whatever it is, and get to where I'm no longer hurting, I'm able to move again, able to start a little dance therapy, whatever the case may be, it'll genuinely be an occasional treat for me. I don't ever want to be this way again and feel this way. And it ain't even about how I look, because even though, I mean, people can tell I'm heavy and all of that, but when I dress and all, I'm still proportionate and all. And like I said, my boyfriend don't care if I don't never lose a pound. Getting a man ain't never been an issue. And I'm finally getting to a place where I have a little love for my body, but I also can see the areas of excess that I don't love. So once I go through all of this and really am able to love my body, I have body dysmorphia really, really bad. So I've been my harshest critic, but I also can see enough and recognize the fact of some of the signs of abuse through this, I know we don't need to eat as much as we do. And my metabolism is slow anyway. So yeah, if I go through all of that and go through this 100-day challenge and all of that, it's just gonna have to become a new lifestyle for me. And the longer I go through this, less bread, the less I just eat. We don't. I haven't bought a loaf of bread. Well, I take that back. I broke down and bought some cheese dogs. Now I was the brats with the cheddar brats. For whatever reason, a couple months ago, I was really wanting that, and I ordered that and a 6 pack or 8 pack or whatever of the hot dog buns. But that was the first time I had even ordered a loaf of bread of any kind in close to 2 years in this house. Environment, yeah, probably it's a lot of that. I am gonna do the castor oil and the belly button, Paul. I'll definitely try a lot of that. Main reason it's so bad. I don't do a lot of the castor oil packs and stuff like that because I don't. By the time I finish laying there, I know I'm gonna just roll over and fall asleep, and I just don't want that mess in my bed. To be honest, you say you don't eat bread at all. I'd love to say that that's gonna happen for me, but I also know that eventually I'll be somewhere and want a sub or a slice of pizza or something like that. It's gonna happen. It's going to eventually happen. But if I can keep it, if I can get it down to that, like I said, an occasional thing where, okay, if I have a sandwich once a month or once every other month or whatever, or an occasional slice of pizza once every other month, then I'd be all right. Antoine, yeah, when vegetables are stir fried, I definitely, I mean, honestly, that's the way when I'm just cooking for myself, that's typically what I do now. I fire up my wok in a minute, and pretty much most of the stuff that I make winds up in a wok, quite honestly. And I even consider that once I get down to where I'm able to actually eat some things again, even the salmon might be okay, but I would just have to use rice noodles or rice and leave the wheat noodles and things like that alone, which is that's not no problem whatsoever for me. It will, Paul. It'll change. It's just exactly. Well, now I'm not in a good position for sun gazing just because of where the way our condo is situated. By the time it actually breaks across my sight line, it's already too late in the morning for me to truthfully sun gaze. I'll try roaming around the complex to see if I can get an earlier sight line someplace. Um, Truthfully though, I might be able to catch the evening sun gazing. And I did notice I have sun gazed consistently enough that I noticed it removing some of my appetite, but I have no desire to become a total breatharian. I don't. I enjoy food and it's social. Everything we do on this planet is geared around food, and people start acting weird when you're not willing to be social and break bread, quote unquote, break bread with them. Trust me, my family goes ape shit whenever I'm fasting and I go someplace socially. So for that reason, I never chose to work towards totally giving up food, but I do intend to get back into sun gazing because it's healthy for you. You can, bro, 100. You can. If they haven't removed it, I can't remember. His name is HRM something or other. But he wrote a book about the process to how to acclimatize yourself to sun gazing. And for some people, they claim that they've gotten to a place that they genuinely don't have to eat food. They basically drink a little tea or whatever occasionally, like I said, to be social. but they don't really have to eat. Paul Snowcloud, basically, that's what I do for my roommate, and I'll eat that occasionally. We use Beyond Beef, and I'll do like Salisbury steak or whatever with the mushrooms and gravy and stuff for him over potatoes or over rice. And then occasionally I'll go ahead and have some of that as well. But I put it like, a little rice in the bowl and some beans or whatever, and just have the burger. I strongly, Brittany, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna go completely plant based, but I'm gonna definitely up the ante because I already have. Like I said, cooking for a vegetarian, most of the time I just get what he's gonna have. When I do my grocery order or something, I might get a little bit of meat if I want some salmon or whatever. But truthfully, it'll be what I'm gonna eat in a couple days, and that'll be it as far as meat for me. For the rest of the week, I order groceries like every other week. So if I do have any meat, it'll be something that will be consumed within. Well, I'll go ahead and cook it. It'll be consumed within 2 or 3 days, and then that's it for meat for me until I order groceries again. So I've already weaned way down on the meat consumption, but it's gonna be further cut down. Just like I said, from basically riding out through the end of the month. Next year, I probably will go back to doing at least chicken and salmon, maybe some occasional. Because I've heard people talking about that carnivore diet and how it's supposed to be good and all of that. And I used to be a serious meat eater. I just really don't think that that's going to work for me at this point. I don't even have a desire to eat that much beef anymore. I hope you do too, girl. Yes, indeed. Please manifest some money for both of us. Cause yeah, I ain't even gonna lie. I asked you to manifest me a job. Cause truthfully, I heard that if I got out here right now, it might, and I may still put my hand in the pot just to see if that's what spirit wants me to do. But if I'm perfectly honest, I don't want a job. I want seed money so that I can, like I say, work on getting the social media thing together and the spiritual business and all those other things so that this, like I said, that this is the job. I don't mind doing things, but I just don't want to have to deal with all the personalities and the stuff that happens every time you walk into a workplace. When you're working with more than 3 or 4 people, it's going to be a problem. And I know now that the way, like I say, the way my uh, empathy is set up, it's just I don't belong there anymore. I really don't. And now that I'm such an age that the HR departments and stuff be looking at me sideways anyway. So yeah, if I can work for myself, I'd be better. My parents used to do like a side of beef as well, Paul. But like I said, I live here with a vegetarian, so I would genuinely have to do like a small box from one of the, whatever that's gonna send something in. And truthfully, even when I was working, I just don't want to spend what they charge for beef. Now I don't crave it enough. If medically I needed to eat beef like that, then I would eat it like that. But I just weaned off of it years ago. And I mean, I'm not saying, when I was out and about or ordering whatever, I might eat a burger or something occasionally, but I'm just at a point now. Like, for example, one of my favorite Chinese restaurant dishes is Mongolian triple, which has some beef in it. And I'll eat it like that, but how often am I going to order that? You know what I mean? Hold on, let me see. You don't, oh yeah, you don't like meat, Brittany. I forgot. Yeah. Environment, I've been hearing people talking about the seed oils, but you know what? I like sesame oil with my Chinese food, so guess what? I'm gonna have me a little bit with the Chinese food. Because again, I don't eat that every single day, and the little bit that I'm using, the oil, the bottom of a wok, and put a little bit of flavor in my food. I'm yeah. Let them tell it everything we eat is bad. Everything. So, oh wow, Paul Snowcloud. I never saw half a cow at the field. I did work at a packing house for a while though, and I can remember it was just like a temp agency type thing. The first day that I was there, they were doing a slaughter, and I was at a table where they were packing sausages or chops or something. I don't know what they was doing, and I didn't hear what the dude was saying, and they was coming through the line. You know how they hang it on the hook, and I literally got like smacked in the face with a side of a warm beef. I was like, oh no, I ain't liking that at all, at all. Yeah, send me anything you want to, darling. We all. I'm up for all of it. I gotta actually go into my email and check everything up. I just, like I said, I zoned out yesterday and hadn't been checking anything. Online wild pasture. Okay. Yeah, because I know every time I look at some place like Omaha or whatever, they on drugs. I can't do all of that. They be charging way too much. Oh, I think I'm subscribed to Divinely Aligned, Brittany. I'm pretty sure I am. I'm almost positive I'm subscribed to her for real. It's her and oh, it's a couple of them. And again, I just hadn't been watching a lot of anybody lately because I was trying to get my head together and trying to figure out how to get more focused on my own stuff. But she's like really blonde, right? Yeah, yeah. She channels zero. Yep. I know who you are. I've been subscribed to her for it, probably over a year now, maybe two. It's funny though how much alike we are. We probably got several channels in common that we subscribe to. She does have a very light, just very positive energy. And I pay a lot of attention to that because there's some like I'll be led to a video, and I ain't even just talking about readers. I'm just talking about people, period, in the spiritual space. And I might get a message or two, watch a few videos, subscribe, and all that because they had a specific word for me. And then I come back later, and it just like, and I may try to hang on for a while, but if they're, sometimes it's just they had a specific message, and then it's time to leave them alone. But her energy always does seem really bright. Hmm. And that's one of the reasons why I try to let go of the desperation for I must get a job because I need money. Because I know for a fact that when I do that, I'm gonna be. Oh, you leaving, Paul? Uh oh. Okay. Yeah. Good night. Later. Thanks for joining us, Paul. Appreciate you, brother. But I do understand that there is a hitch in the giddy up in that, to deliberately put yourself in a position where you're going to be doing something you're miserable at, just to, so it's a catch 22. It really, really is. But I'm hoping your little manifesting self get either run over by some numbers or do that manifestation thing or whatever the case may be. That part. I forgot to even check the tickets though, for real. Ooh, I did that, and stars came out. Wishes came true. It is enslaving oneself. You're trading your peace of mind for a paycheck. Like I said, because I know before I even apply for the job, I don't truly want it, and I know but if I have to, I've been so used to working for my have to all of my life. I was a single parent, so if I have to, I'll do it. But like I said, this go around, I'm gonna be very, very selective and super selfish. If I'm forced to go back into the workplace, I'm gonna have an exit date in mind before I start, and I'm sorry to say I'm going to be very slow about helping anybody else financially, because every time I'm doing decent money wise, they will fall out the woodwork. This one got a crisis. That one need that. This one want that. That one want the other. Oh, it's 1.7. I'm glad to know it, mama. Honey, I would say at this point, even five numbers will be straight to start some of the stuff we want to do. We surely have to rely on crowdfunding if five numbers will start in the pack, but hey, it'll be a start. But 1.7, wow. That will put, let me see, three or four. Yeah, that will end up probably cashing out somewhere around 1.2. Can you imagine? I know everybody within the sound of my voice. You said, it's, how is it 770, Brittany? Did you multiply by 37%? I think that's the highest tax bracket right now, or is it even higher for lottery wins? Hey, CC, welcome. What's up, mama? Yeah, right. I thought right now when I looked up tax brackets, I thought the highest tax bracket for income for an annual income was 37%. Oh, you welcome, love. You welcome. You know what though? Screw that. That'll be fine. Trust me. We could work with 770. That'll still work for real. Oh, you are so welcome. I had a good time too. Like I said, I overdid myself and wound up being lazy and oversleeping, but yeah, yesterday was pretty awesome. Hey, Robin, you came on up in here too. Oh, and it's 10:10, y'all. Yes. But again, that's why I said, considering, but the 1.7 is over how many years? Is that 10 years or 20? I would cash out too, to be honest. Because if you take the cash out and walk out in the street and get hit by a bus, guess what? Nobody's getting the rest. It's not going to transfer to your estate. 30 years? Oh, hell no. No, no, no. I cash out. Hey, Robin, what's up? Welcome, welcome. You ain't got to type fast. We've been in here. Look, it's been so peaceful up in here since I did the subscriber only thing. Just even giving them that 5 minute delay. If the true trolls, we had one troll that was willing to wait around long enough to subscribe NT way and want to hang around. But even then, we started ignoring him and he just left. I guess he left or he got quiet. But yeah. That's the way I used to look at it too. If you take the longer option, you can't leave it to your children. They can't inherit. Anything can't happen. And even when I was 30, I knew better, because again, that kind of money on your head, anything could happen. I'd rather take half on the front end, like you say, and invest it and make up the difference. I can't know, Antoine. I can't tell you nothing about them because I don't really pay attention to that. Most of the time when I watch tarot, I don't even be looking at the readers. I was glad he showed his face and everything. Um, but I don't really be paying attention to them, and I don't sense them like that. I'm not saying he doesn't, because I believe that if you're sensing entities, and he says because he called Papa Wise, and he said something on the channel a while back that one of his dolls wanted some dolls or something, and I'm like, oh, okay. But again, and maybe that's why I don't do his live streams, because he brings Papa Wise right on the table with him when he's doing them live readings, And that's not my jam. But most of the time when I'm watching tarot readings, I just have it playing and I'm listening to it because I know the tarot. I'm listening more for the cards and what they're saying and how the cards they're pulling relate to what's going on for me, how it resonates for me. And sometimes, if there's a particular tarot synchronicity between like a personal spread that I've done or even a recent collective spread that I've done, I may stop and actually watch the reader and see what they're doing. But at least 60 or 70% of the time, I'm not watching because as I'm listening, it's almost like it becomes a meditation for me. I'm paying more attention to the thoughts that are running through my head with what they're saying and what they're seeing in the cards. So I hadn't paid a whole lot of attention to them. But I'm trying. That's one thing I did want to mention because we talked about it earlier. Anybody, whether somebody, if and I'm not saying don't check out sites that people send you to, or even sometimes spirit will lead you to a reader or a website or some kind of information for a specific message for a specific time. But the moment it starts feeling like it's not right for you or makes you uncomfortable, leave it alone. Just because I like him and I don't and I can deal with it is fine. If they make you uncomfortable, it's at least 10,000 tarot readers probably on there. So yeah, just leave it. Don't mess with him. You say you three clips, whatever you feel like something he led you here tonight. It did. There are no accidents or no mistakes anywhere. That's why when the trolls start talking all of that stuff, clips and welcome by the way, when they start talking all of that stuff, I feel kind of sorry for them because some of them continue to come back and they don't even understand that their spirit team is trying to lead them probably out of the matrix, but they're not ready yet. They'll keep coming back and they'll keep coming back and they stick around long enough. Like the old folks say, if you stand around the barbershop long enough, you will get a haircut. So if you feel like something led you here, stick around. And as long as it feels good, you are so very welcome. You are very, very welcome. Now, what I do want to encourage you to do here on the live streams, we just sit and chop it up between us. It's a very casual thing, but I also want you to take time and subscribe to the channel, of course, which you've done because you're in here commenting. But go through some of the other uploaded content that I have. Look at some of the playlists that I have there and some of the spiritual talks that I've done. I've gone in and looked at some of the scriptures we talk about. I've read several books and things on there. And so that information, that's the real meat and potatoes of this channel. Now, I have left in place some of the tarot readings I've done on this channel as well because they are relevant to the collective. I'm not doing tarot on this channel anymore, but I do have another channel, Anunnaki Oracle Priestess, and I read tarot over there as well. I'll be there tomorrow morning um, doing free readings for the collective. So if tarot is something that appeals to you, you can certainly swing by there. And like I said, Brittany was talking about the channels and stuff that I'm read that you know, I'm accurate. She was mentioning White Feather Tarot is here as well. But yeah, said checkers fries from Walmart dipped in pantry honey mustard. Ooh, that sounds good. Boy, I'm hangry, and you sitting up here talking about checkers fries. I'm good though, because honestly, I mean, there's something in there. If I wanted to eat, I could, but I'm trying to like I say, hang out a little bit longer. Truthfully, though, if we're gonna start the new moon thing, I am gonna be fasted though for that new moon. That'll be starting a major fast for me. So I might I think I'll be ordering groceries tomorrow. I might make myself some chicken and rice and get like I said, I definitely gonna get a couple of watermelons because by the time I come off of the fast, watermelon season will be over. So that'll take me nicely into the fast. If I get a couple of them, I can eat like a quarter of melon each day, and then when it's done, it's done. You said Anunnaki just gave you chills. Well, baby, that's why you're here. I am a priestess of Yeshua and Lord Enki, the big time Anunnakis and Thoth. The Enki, Thoth, and Yeshua are my main guides. So yeah, that's why you're here. Oh really? You know what? I'm gonna have to tune in to White Tarot and see what's going on. Yeah, you in the right spot for real. And I set an intention for soul family for us to find each other here. And so far, oof, we got a good one, y'all. We got a good one. Like I said, an old boy was talking about it being how I need to grow and all that, and it will grow when we get past the I said that and it went down to 8 people in the room. But again, I know why that happened, and I'm not worried when we get over that little hiccup and get back into the algorithm. It'll grow again because we were picking up people from all around the world at one point. So it'll be all right. You say you say that to your family, you feeling like you was here before because you're the only one with green eyes out of the whole family. You thought you were adopted, but you always look up in the let me get the rest of the message. Probably in the stars or in the sky. I'm sure yeah, it probably was not. Um, yep, you look up at the stars and you can connect with your subconscious, tapping into the unified field. You say you speaking of the algorithm. It'll like I say, I made some early mistakes with this channel. I started to get traction and then I made some mistakes and lost it. It will happen again. I'm more concerned with drawing in the right folks and us sharing the information and just finding connection with each other. Yeah. And that reminds me, as far as Anunnaki Oracle Priestess, I didn't even stop to think about it the other day, but that channel is going to grow a lot slower because, again, it's 13 years old. When I pushed on this channel to grow this channel, I organically got it to 500 before I started live streaming. And when I started live streaming with the 500, that would allow potentially for 650 or 625 people, no, 620, yeah, 625 to come in. So that means that YouTube would push the channel out there to more because it's not as likely for you to overshoot your max load for a live stream when you've already starting from that point. But when you first start live streaming, you can only have the amount of subscribers you have plus 10%, I think. Yeah. So with me having started from like 70 people, they wouldn't be putting it out that to that many anyway because that channel is so small. So like I say, I need to stop worrying about all of that because people keep pushing for talking about the algorithm and the numbers because they talk about monetization, but truthfully, monetization is only going to help you if you're pushing content that gets seriously viral. For videos, you got to make over $1 million to get even $4,000 from YouTube from AdSense, and that's after monetization. At this point in the stage, even with 3,000 subscribers, the only monetization I can push for is going for the AdSense revenue, which would be literally pennies per month. It wouldn't even be a check worth cashing. And then it will open me up to do super thanks and super chats. And YouTube take 30% of that. So truthfully, if somebody wanted to help me and wanted to donate to the channel, I just assume they go on over to buy me a coffee and do it so I can get it instead of them. You know what I'm saying? And when you do super thanks and super chats, it take over a month to get the money. YouTube is gonna take their cut, and it pays out once a month on the following month. So monetization is not a huge concern for me on here. I'm more concerned for people getting the information, sharing the love, building soul family. Yeah, Antoine, I found that out by listening to some other content creators. 30%. I think buy me a coffee is like 5%, something like that. So yeah, I would much rather just do my thing on buy me a coffee. Eventually, I'll probably create some kind of a storefront or something with a payment gateway or whatever. I'll work on that. Between that, it's there's got to be other avenues. I'm not really caring. I mean, half for whoa, but see, that's crazy. Half? Yeah, no. I would tell my folks. Yeah, I appreciate y'all wanting to help me. If you don't have the means to go to buy me a coffee or whatever, I guess if you just want to for the energy exchange, go ahead. But I would much rather you pay me out on coffee if you're going to, so I can benefit from it. Because YouTube got plenty of money. They what the second biggest server on the planet, search engine, whatever. And TikTok is huge too. They don't need that. That's crazy. The reason I want to get on TikTok though ain't even for the monetization from AdSense. It's for building an audience so that I can start a TikTok shop. Because you don't even have to handle that stuff. You can do it like drop shipping. But if it's, you know, but I can also sell my personal products too. So you ain't gonna break even if they're taking half and then you got to turn around and pay taxes on the rest. You're genuinely only making 25% of whatever anybody gives you. That's why I'm saying I haven't even applied to be able to do the super thanks and super chats when I found out that they was pulling 30%, because it's not going to bend the intent. Your followers genuinely want to help you, and they want to be able to connect with you and support your work and support you. And if they take in 30% and the government going to turn around and take another 25 to 30%, you're just pulling money out of your supporters pockets. They're thinking they're supporting you, and they just supporting these billionaires that's already got plenty of money. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Yeah, and that's why I was saying I may do the once it gets up, and especially if I break out as a fresh channel on TikTok, then I can do live readings and charge for them there. And yeah, so I still, like I said, I'm gonna still be loyal to YouTube because this is where the spiritual information is housed primarily. But yeah, I don't want to continue to do. I don't want to set my people up for that, because, like I said, we all struggling right now. And if y'all showing me love so that you can help my situation out and wanting to support me, I'm so sorry, but no, I don't really want you supporting TikTok and YouTube like that. Keep your coin. Take it. Either give it to me where I can have it, or just go ahead. I would just rather not, because that's just gonna create another tax nightmare that I don't want to deal with. For what? Oh, of course, of course. Yeah, Brittany, I will for sure. I'll let you know when I get ready to do it. I gotta get myself down to a routine and a schedule here, and I've already got an Instagram page, so I may start working myself up to that one. I don't know. Even still, like I said, anywhere that I go live, if people choose to support me, I can post my link for coffee. So I may just try to build that first. But yeah, honestly, I'm for as far as tarot. Well, truthfully, I probably still would, because if I knew I could do it and money was no object, that would take a lot of the stress off or whatever. And I'd find a way. I'd be able to put it into a schedule. You say you try to explain to people that you need to stay in a bracket of 70 to 80,000 a year, and whatever else money you have, you put into stocks, real estate, business. Well, that sounds lovely, baby, but I don't have that kind of money. I wish I could stay in the 70 to 80. I wouldn't be complaining at all if I stayed in the 70 to 80 bracket a year. Trust me on that one. Especially since I don't have minor children at home anymore. I'd be golden. You would hear me never say nothing about money, and I would be investing. But there's a lot of the chosen that aren't having that luxury and that experience right now. They're being moved around to different places, laid off from jobs, dealing with toxic partners that either gambled away, stole their money, wrote bad checks, ran their credit up. There's a lot of folks that is coming out of a lot of those kinds of scenarios that 70 or $80,000 a year is not something that they realistically have access to at this moment. And I'm one of those people. Again, I'm not complaining, but it is what it is. Yeah, a lot of folks don't have that. But I'm glad you do. I'm very glad that you do. Hey, somebody in us need to be able to keep our head up and keep that energy going. Maybe you'll be our tax advisor when we do get our money together. That'll be wonderful. Honestly, Antoine, I know what you're talking about. I've actually had that happen to me. Not recently because I didn't apply recently, but I have. I was desperate and I tried to get a job at McDonald's, and the man looked at me and told me I was overqualified and refused to hire me. Sure did. So I know what you're talking about. Don't look at the fact that I was like, I don't feel like I'm overqualified when I got a baby I'm trying to feed. I need to be able to feed my kid. They refused to hire me. I have not, but I will look up and see what I've heard that something was coming, but I didn't know it was going to have an energy field that big. But let's see. And when do they think it's going to connect with us? Environment. You said the interstellar comet is headed towards our solar system and has an energy field half the size of the sun. Did they say when it's going to intersect with us? I'm genuinely interested to know. Environment. I'll look it up, but if you know right off, when do they predict that it will intersect with our solar system? You said it's heading towards it. Lord have mercy. He done fell off. Let me pull out my tablet and see if I can find it. Oh, here it is right here. Oh, okay. Well, that see, so you know what I'm talking about. I got laid off. Like I said, I was good at my job, got a promotion, all the rest of that, and then like about 4 or 5 or 100 of us at the same job got laid off at the same time. We got a piddly little crazy, a tiny severance. But yeah, I've been out of work since the beginning of the year. Oh goodness, I'm so sorry to hear that. Pallets came down and hit your machine and broke your back. Oh God, that I'm so sorry. I'm glad you survived that, but I'm sorry you going through that pain and all. I hope you get better very soon. I'm asking for, like I said, angelic healing for you. Well, it says it poses no threat to Earth. In late October, it'll reach its closest point to the sun. Mm. This is a perfect time for us to be doing all these manifestations because that's going to bring a whole heck of a lot of energy with it. It really, really is. Um, I'm gonna do some more reading about that. But yeah, exact girl. Now you know what I'm talking about. Maybe that's why we're doing this little hive mind thing that's coming together, and because literally we have mastermind happening. We've got that whole thing happening. We're being led or inspired um to manifest together, to do those rituals. Get because I have been off falling off. I used to do moon intentions. I used to do my little stuff with the moon on the new moon and the full moon for a minute. I was doing it like every full moon and new moon, and then I fell way off and just hadn't been doing it. And then, like I said, just within the last day or so, that thought came to mind. And this morning, the thought came to mind not only for me to do it, but to make it available as a group thing. Yeah. Probably not Inky's ship. Because again, I honestly don't think Inky gone nowhere. I think he's still here on the planet somewhere, not walking amongst us freely. But I think his physical avatar is somewhere here on this planet. It may be a ship from Nibiru with somebody in it, but if they're identifying it as a comet, it probably is because you got to remember after the flood, they did say that within 2 showers there would be another cataclysm coming. That's one of the reasons I feel like I feel a sense of urgency to kind of understand revelation and talk to people and help people as much because I really feel like the thing that is going to help humanity, who is going to determine who is selected to be spared when that happens, it's about whose consciousness has awakened to be able to accept the truth, to step away from the lie and accept the truth. And those people that are able to reset their consciousness, if and when some type of calamity or situation like that were to be approaching Earth, those people are going to be rescued. They'll be saved. Everybody won't be. Like Revelation had already told us, at least a third of the population of Earth will be removed because they don't even get with the program. They still on team Satan and all of that. But for the rest of us, I honestly think if we're awake, we'll be all right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Enviromad. When I was looking at this, I didn't want to take time to go and read everything. I'll look into it later. I made a note for myself, but just from the little bit that I looked at when I tapped into the information on my tablet, they were saying it's going to reach its peak um, or get closest to the sun, the energy of it, or whatever the comment in late October. We're sitting here right now in the first week in September, and we were talking about, and I'm saying I really feel like that's kind of like our guides leading us because literally within the past few days, I started mentioning part of what Spirit has shown me as far as a vision of what I'd like to do with the massive windfall that they've shown me in meditation is supposed to be coming my way. And Brittany was saying she's been seeing something similar. And then we got on the live stream and we were kind of kicking those ideas around and come to find out it's a lot of folks that were really resonant with that. So that intention that I set for a soul family or a soul tribe to be gathered here is not a lot of people, but it does appear to be happening. And it's just I don't, again, there are no mistakes. So when that's happening, and then all of a sudden we're being made aware of this uh, lunar eclipse that's happening while Saturn is in Pisces, and it's the second Saturn return for a lot of us, and the full moon is in Pisces, and that's so very spiritual. And we're leading into a new moon in Virgo, and all of that other stuff. And then right around the time we start building momentum on the idea of setting in some 30-day and 40-day challenges, and there's a bunch of us fasting and getting our energy right, and all of that, leading up to this massive comet energy coming to a peak at the end of October, right around the time, probably around new moon time there. So we got this full moon eclipse that we can start setting intention and doing some manifesting. And we got another full moon next month in October that we can do some manifesting around. And then this peak comet energy, yeah, we gonna have to get our stuff together. You said you can't fully explain what you saw people in orbs like a rescue. It ain't no lack of words, baby. I know what you're talking about. And honestly, I kind of sort of think that's where, think about the Christians when they teach rapture. Then go back and watch the movie Knowing with Nicolas Cage. It came out in 2009. The entire premise of that movie was there was a cataclysm that was going to be coming to Earth. The extraterrestrials knew it was coming, but they could not stop it. But what they did decide to do was to salvage a contingency of humans off the planet that they would take up in their spaceships, so that whenever that cataclysm came through and scorched the earth, it literally was like an atomic thing that was planet wide. It was going to scorch the earth. But they took up as many humans as they could. They were mostly children, with some adults that would be able to teach them and lead, but they had to be of a certain mindset and physical issues and all of that, yada yada. And they took up like soil samples and genetic samples from like the animal, wildlife, and all that good stuff, so that once the cataclysm had finished and they could go back, that they would be able to repopulate the earth, and the ones that had been taken up would quite literally be the builders of new earth. They did that movie in 2009. These cats been showing us what's finna happen and hiding it in plain sight. They calling it entertainment ever since they had television and radio. Is it really? Okay, when I get off this live stream, I will be going out to look at it. Last night I went out there because Brittany was talking about being able to see some of the things that she was seeing over there in California or whatever, or no, you were in Carolina, right? But wherever you were at, you were seeing stuff. But it was so cloudy here, I couldn't see anything. I could see light from the moon, but I couldn't see the moon itself. Something is happening. I feel like, what club? I'm gonna go to the club Moonshine, Club Sin, because Sin is the moon god. Yeah, I'll go to Club Sin, Antoine. I don't do the club no more. I ain't been in a club since I waitressed at a nightclub for a while before I left Virginia. But honestly, I don't think I've been in a nightclub but maybe once or twice since then. Yeah, I'm way over it. Hey, CC, you back? Welcome, welcome, my love. Welcome. You eclipse. Honestly, again, I don't know exactly when it's going to happen. I don't want to get caught up in the stuff that the Christians did, trying to predict it over and over again, even trying to predict it since 1844. But they knew something was going to happen. Yeshua pointed us to the age of Aquarius. We've been in the age of Aquarius since 2020, 2021 ish, something like that. The energies have been ramping up. We've been having all kinds of planetary processions and the double eclipses and double conjunctions and grand trines and Kazimis and all kinds of stuff happening. So it's been ramping us up to something. It would be very naive of us to think that another energy body that is half again the size of or half the size of our sun is going to line up next to our sun, and we're not going to be affected by that energy somehow. Oh yeah, we're going to be affected. You say you swiped up too far and you get lost. Yeah, just go to the channel and then tap into the live from there. You can, or if it happens again, but it's all good. It happens to me too sometimes. Honestly, they tried to scare us about 2012 because I believe, in my opinion, that this is not the first timeline or that we've attempted this on. Like I said, time is not linear. And just like they showed us in the Matrix, where Neo discovered that he was on like the fifth or sixth, I think, iteration of the Matrix, I believe this is probably the third or fourth reset, and we didn't never make it past 2012 and any of them other ones. I think that's why that 2012 was a big deal. Um, and it's interesting that you mentioned 2030 because I heard somebody a couple years ago, they were talking about the whole wave of the star seeds and the things that were happening, and like the rainbow children, how they're going to activate further, and the indigos and the crystals. And they were saying that these really, really, really profoundly autistic children, the nonverbals, and all of those, that they are going to unpack in a way that's genuinely going to save the planet. But it was somewhere between, I think they quoted either 2032 or 2036 that cycle was supposed to happen. But that's when you're going to really see why those nonverbals are here. And I believe that too. I mean, I know autistic children are, because they're so flipping intelligent, it's ridiculous. Even the nonverbal children, if you, like you said, you may not be able to speak their language, but trust me, they're so intelligent, they make us look crazy, for real. And I don't know if that's going to be the year either, but I'm just trying to make sure I can get ready as I know how to be and do my little part, since Yeshua said I'm supposed to get up here and start talking, to get some folks awake. As long as I do my part, I think we're going to be all right. That's what I'm looking at. I'm sure that got to be for real. If I can be telepathic, I know good and full well that the new kids on the block is telepathic. Look how they, like you said, and some of them, have you seen some of these kids be like literally hours old and they holding their head up and looking around and looking at people and giving them the stank face and all? I'm like, oh my God, these kids scary. Again, Red Rod, we ain't mad. If you don't like the fact that it's a small group here, just what you keep coming back for. Again, I understand why that is, and I don't have to explain it to you. Keep your little funky energy and go on about your business, really and truly. And honestly, I would just go ahead on and remove you entirely, except for the fact that that would be more of the problem, and you're well aware of that. Unfortunately, the real nasty trolls and the energetically sad, sick people that come around and do stuff like this, they know that if the content creators remove them from the channel, that only further shadow bans the channel. So y'all just stick around and just be just as aggravating as a boil on somebody's butt. But do you, boo? Because if you stick around here long enough, you still gonna catch some of this light. You will. Child, I wouldn't ask Rob nothing because Rob is a hater and a troll. Don't even bother with him. And that's the real sad part. He talking about the 17 people that's up in here. The sick, sick, sick part about Rob is he literally stuck around, subscribed to the channel, and then came back just for the privilege of sticking around for some place that he doesn't believe in and don't want to be in, wasting his God-given precious time to stick around and be a pain in somebody else's ass. That's somebody that genuinely ain't got no life. None. I wouldn't waste my time. Even though it's doom scrolling, I'd rather be watching cat videos than stick up in a live stream with people talking about stuff that I don't like and I don't want to be bothered with. Truthfully, a lot of star seeds are neurodivergent. And honestly, I've never been officially diagnosed. My son was actually going through the process. He's in the military and all now, but he's going through the process to see if he might be um, have Asperger's or something. I mean, he's married and all of that. I know I'm neurodivergent, and my daughter and I, the oldest one, we laugh when we get together. We be talking about a touch of the tism, because truthfully, all of them are neurodivergent to a degree, and I'm fine with that. Again, and that's so lovely that there's 10 folks here and one of them is somebody that don't even want to be here and too simple and silly to leave. Yeah, it's okay. I know one thing, when we do start planning some things and moving and shaking as a group, I know who won't be included in that number. Yeah, I'm not particularly hyperactive. Well, truthfully, they probably would have done that because I did earlier on in life, I did have some stimming behaviors, the nail biting, the fidgeting, the this and the that. The older I get, the less fidgeting I do, but I still wound up, I had stopped biting my nails for years and then wound up back on it. So, and when females do tend to mask in a lot of different ways, but at least ADD at a minimum, and there is a little bit of hyperactivity there. Child, like I said, I'm not even paying him no mind. He can't have my energy like that. Pathetic. Cause as long as we ain't complaining, well, that don't have to be mental. That's only real. Actually, I'd rather believe that oh, you should have left it there. I'd rather believe that aliens uplifted humans than to believe that dumbass lie about a what is it, the virgin birth and the all-knowing sky daddy, even though the ancient text already done told us that that's not what happened and not who he is, and y'all continue to believe that stuff. And again, I'd rather have a long distance boyfriend than an in your person piece of nothing troll like you. I really would. It doesn't hurt me none. It makes me feel fine. It's people that sit up and pay their hard earned money to go on OnlyFans and watch a woman do stuff. Sad, sick puppies that don't have no life. My situation is free and it makes me happy. So whatever comes out of it, whether it ever becomes a physical union or not, ain't your concern, Red Rob. I'm not complaining. I got 4 children, adult children. I've had enough fun. I don't need to do the mattress mambo to have fine fulfillment in my life. And God knows I don't need another sorry behind man to be an energetic or financial drain on me. So I'm cool like that. You say you just want your divorce to get your energy in balance, exactly. And then clowns like Rob come in here and wonder why women ain't pressed to have a man. I don't need nobody jumping up and down on me. Done did plenty of that, been there, done that. Got the T-shirt, a set of twins, and end cap daughters on the end. I'm Gucci. If I can't have a dude to show up and act right, I don't need one. A lot, exactly. That's like I said, most people, there are more people that meet on the internet and start out at some distance from each other now than there are in face meetings for relationships. That idea of scorning long distance relationships or scorning meeting people on the internet, that's some literally 40-year-old shit from people that don't know no better. Lots of people meet online today. You narrow your choices by continuing to only want to associate with the people that's within a 10-mile radius of you. You can meet the greatest person in the world online or meet an axe murderer in church or at the Walmart or whatever local down the store. Why would I want to clip my potential for meeting really cool people when I have a larger mindset and a diverse worldview? Why would I want to do that? I came from a little teeny tiny southern town in the Bible Belt that to this day probably don't have more than 25,000 people in it. Now, what if I was one of them ignorant, narrow minded people that only thought that I could have a relationship with somebody from there? That's where I met them last nasty ones that left me with babies and bad bills and credit and a nasty attitude. I went that route and tried that. I ain't want none more of that. So I'll wait for my long distance package to arrive. I'm good. Exactly. You can be just as free as you want to be. Exactly, Nicole. And honestly, Antoine, that's what the people don't understand. A lot of women, out there because they've bought into that faulty philosophy. And again, I'm not addressing Red Rob, but he brought up something that is relevant to what we're talking about. And the ladies in this group see it and understand it. But there's a lot of women out there that have bought into the social programming that to make themselves believe that they must have an active in-person mattress mambo producing relationship in order to be fulfilled. And because they continue to settle for energetically faulty relationships like that, they keep manifesting basically a version of that same toxic crap that they keep trying to run away from, unless or until they're willing to step out of that paradigm and shut it down long enough to get that nasty energy out of their system, which will allow them to awaken and heal and ascend and start shifting their energy. And then later on, usually after quite a hiatus, then they can go in and manifest a more pleasing relationship. Same thing for men. The passport bros, they gonna chase and chase and chase till their money run out instead of just shutting it down and allowing their vibration and energy to rise and becoming the spiritual person that they're supposed to be, so that they can, if you want, like I say, if you want a goddess, become a god. If you want a king, become a queen, vice versa. Instead of just running out there talking a good game and continuing to energetically give yourself to court jesters. He said what you couldn't understand or ever let be is when most of your family used to tell you to go to church when you was 3, 4, 5 years old. You wouldn't be able to stay still because you would see more things in there than in the streets. But you would see the walls of the Egyptian tombstones, the different carvings outside of the church, and the skeletons. Whoa, girl, you got sight for real then. Whoa, whoa, whoa. See, I never got to say, well, again, I was raised a Jehovah's Witness, so I didn't see a whole lot of that kind of stuff. But they taught us to be afraid of everything. But if you got sight like that, yeah, I would imagine church was not a comfortable spot for you. People don't understand how full the churches are of demons. Them demons be all up in the church. Where do you think all that hooping and yelling and running around and speaking that gobbledygook come from? That is demonic possession, but they call it the Holy Ghost. They full of demons in the churches, for real. Why did this thing keep glitching? Why are we not raising the vibration of healing balance? You see your creator zapping bodies in the act of nasty evil that is destroying. It came out so wrong. You're saying that there's so much injustice. How are we not able to see things in real time actions? There, because it's a process, Nicole. It's a process. The real time thing. Remember when Yeshua came to earth and he tried to tell the Jews that they was worshiping the devil? And to this day, 2,000 years later, the church still swear that that ain't what that scripture mean. They literally put that beautiful ascended master to death rather than listen to him. So it hasn't been safe for people to want to just come out and just up and change it, because it's not enough people that actually believe and understand the change to do an immediate boots on the ground takeover. It has to be done. The mystery school stayed alive to try to lead people, and now people are beginning to awaken and they're connecting telepathically with their spirit guides. We're finding each other as soul families and beginning to kind of compare notes. The information is getting out there. The internet helped a lot with what's coming, because prior to the internet, a lot of this information that we're finding now that's shedding light wasn't even being dug up out the ground till about 100 to 150 years ago. Then it had to be translated and documented and cataloged and all of that. But it was out in limited pockets from people that were really into academia or esoterica and things like that, but very small groups. It really wasn't until the advent of the internet that the massive awakening could genuinely take place, because we're exiting the age of Pisces and entering the age of Aquarius, which is the information age. It is the golden age. And that shift from one zodiacal age to another is a 75 to 150-year process. And then the internet came right along 40 years ago to help facilitate that. It's happening. I know we're frustrated because we on that. Are we there yet? I talked about that in the live stream yesterday. But when folks like us, oh, it's 33 in the room and 33 likes. I love that. A 33, 33. While we're talking about this awakening and Yeshua and all of those good things, that is the Christic number. But because of that shift that's happening, Soul Tribe is finding each other. Like I said, Gil Scott Heron did that song back in the 70s. The revolution will not be televised. Ooh, 10 people left the live stream just that quick. It's all good though. We saw it. But the revolution will not be televised. It's going to come out of us. We are vibrational beings. We are manifesting beings, but we have to awaken and ascend to the point that we know it's possible. And then we're going to start linking up because we are also all entangled. But the ones that are aware of that will start to work in the ethers on the energetic plane. And eventually it will spill down to make some more immediate changes. But there's just a buffer of time there because we're not going to be able to get out and roll out the pew pews and the cannons and all of the things that the governments do. We can't fight that with that, and we don't want to. We're not anarchists in that way. Maybe they may consider us spiritual anarchists, but we're not political anarchists. So our change has to happen in the energy field, in the spirit realm. You say you can't imagine dating in these times. You're happy and content being single. You know, exactly. And that's the reason I've been waiting, even though it's taken forever and the this and the that. It unfolded the way I needed to because I wasn't in a position to really truthfully entertain a healthy relationship for a long time. We genuinely met online, did the friend zone thing for a number of years as we both shut down karmic cycles and began to heal some of our own stuff and started ascending and learning and growing and all that together. And it was a friendship only for the longest time. And now we're focused towards something else, but we're still dealing with our money issues and we're working towards it, but it's not an instant process. But again, if it happened, cool. If it don't, cool. And I'm not saying I don't want nobody to think I'm being casual, that I don't love him. I do. I genuinely do. But I done been through so much stuff in life with men till a man don't hang the moon and stars for me no more. I love him, but I can live without him too. And I don't want to be so in love with somebody that I swear I can't live with them no more. That's a sick infatuation. And that's fine when we're in our 20s. I'm 57 years old. And it's not too late for me to find love because, again, like I said, I found it. It's just taking some time, but it's fine. We ain't neither one of us in a rush. We've been celibate for so long till, again, when it happens, it'll happen. But we're already in, and we've been using our celibacy to transmute energy and working towards our enlightenment and all those other things. It's not that big of a deal for me. And there you go. If you got a partner that's willing to face your shadows and help y'all grow with honesty, and then that's a beautiful thing. And that's all you can ask for. No, Brooklawn Zoo. I did that, and I've actually had other content creators suggest that we force people to subscribe to comment because guess what? If you're not willing to subscribe, then who cares about your comment? Because a lot of the folks, when I didn't do that, all I was getting was a bunch of nasty trolls that was coming in here talking a whole bunch of hateful nonsense that they didn't need to. So you didn't have to comment. You could have kept scrolling and we would have been just fine. I'm glad you stopped by. And if you'd like to stick around, you can. But just like you subscribe, you can say what you want to say and then unsubscribe if you choose to. I'm not forcing anyone to do anything. But what I did want to do is not allow the people that want to be in here and share in lighthearted spiritual conversations and good vibing, high flying stuff. I didn't want them to have to continue to be subjected to low, nasty troll energy, which was what was happening on the channel when I wasn't requiring folks to subscribe. That part. So I'm not thirsty for subs. I'm thirsty for like-minded spiritual people that actually want to learn and have real conversations. And I couldn't give a rat's ass about the trolls that just want to stick around and say hateful, nasty stuff. And I'm sorry if that offends you. Not sorry, because that's how I genuinely feel. Now, if you choose to stay, we'd love to have you. But if you just want to bring hate, keep it moving. I'm so not thirsty for subs that I'm willing to tell the truth. You said whatever reason your grandmother always told everyone to leave you alone, and your grandmother would try to change churches to make sure of your visions. Yeah. But they all in there worshiping the same evil God, so yeah. And honestly, that's what a balance of self in a mate form. That's exactly why I'm willing to wait, Nicole, because the longer our friendship went on, I found out that that genuinely is my mirrored twin. It's taken us this long to come together because he was having to shut down a lot of the same type of karmic cycles and lessons that I went through, or saying a lot of the same ancestral and family issues that I was having to shut down. We've known each other for 10 years this year, and we've only ever disagreed on 3 issues in 10 years, and only had one. And I wouldn't even really call it an argument. I got heated about something. I said what I needed to say. He thought about it, came back, said what he needed to say, apologized, and we found a middle ground and kept it pushing. And that's the way our disagreements always go. He say what he's gonna say, I say what I'm gonna say, and we find a common middle ground rather quickly, and the one that we genuinely agree on. And we've never genuinely argued or fought about anything. And I'm cool with that. But then by the same turn, he's such a gentle dude. I've never heard him say a negative word about anybody. Even when he was listening to me going through the crap that I was going through as I was shutting down some of the toxic crap in my life, he's never said an unkind word about anybody, not to me. Let me see. I'm trying to catch up on these notes. Give me a second. Oh, a balance of self in your mate form, yeah. Yep, there is a purging that's happening, and that's why it gets worse before it gets better. It's being shaken up, like literally, like it's either like what you know how to do last call at the club. They come through dumping out the drinks, dumping out the this. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here. Or shit, whenever they turn on the lights and like a roach infested whatever, turn on the lights and the roaches going scatter. That's what's happening now. The shifts that are happening, the chosen are awakening, making the changes they need to. Their energy is ascending, but those who refuse to awaken and ascend are being very much irritated, and eventually they will be called out, and eventually they'll be weeded out. We have to clear the bad to make room for the good. The new earth will happen, absolutely. Brooke noted us to keep trolls low. Brooke is one of them trolls, but they just, like I said, they had time today, so they wanted to come on in here and say something, and so they stuck around, which is fine. Like I said, they can leave too. Is there a way to know the name of a spirit guide, Robin? Ask. And I don't know. In my case, like when I asked for the ascended masters, I paid attention to what started coming to me. When I asked if any of the ascended masters would make themselves known to me, immediately when I opened my YouTube page, the I Am Discourses of Saint Germain came in, and right behind it, the Christ Return Speaks His Truth, the Christ letters. And then, like I said, the next day, an ibis started showing up in my front yard. It came every single day, regardless what time I went out there to meditate. This little ibis come walking up, stand there, look at me sideways, and all the rest of that. I understood that was Yeshua, Saint Germain, and Thoth coming in. And then right after that, Saint Germain, I heard clairaudiently that we were going to do something big together. And then he handed me off to Master Dwalkul almost immediately for a few months. Antoine just mentioned I named his spirit guides in a tarot card reading, and I didn't even know I was doing it, but it resonated hard with him, and he got the message. It can show up in any number of ways, but ask them to make it be apparent to you, and then pay attention to what comes your way, and listen for those masters. Go look it up, see how it feels to you, and then try to have a conversation and meditation with them. You like to wear a lot of bracelets and anklets? That's cool. Oh yeah, Brooke, I forgot about that. Oh, your phone is on 33. When we said that, that's cool. Three of them, 3333, and you've been seeing it all day. I'm so far behind. Let me hurry up and get here. It did slow on way down, Brooklawn Zoo or whatever. Like I said, you're the second one today, and the other one was a spillover from days before he pretended like he was on team whatever, and then started coming in here talking noise. But honestly, you're the first one in today, and we ain't mad about it. Exactly, fluoride and heavy metals for sure. It really do. Hey, Mindy Walker, welcome, welcome. And again, I go in other content creators' live streams, and it's not just tarot and it's not just spiritual conversation. Sometimes instead of doom scrolling, I keep telling people if you want to find something interesting to watch on a live, if you scroll in the short reels long enough to see one live, tap into that live, whatever it is. And from there, once you start scrolling, you're going to see live stream after live stream after live stream. And I wanted to learn because for content creators, YouTube is not very forthcoming with a lot of information. You have to make the mistakes and then find out what you did wrong and try to make a correction, or go, you can dig around, insert at Google, but it's not like here's the manual for how it works. Same thing with Instagram, same thing with any of the others. But I wanted to kind of find out what was going on. So I'll go into other content creator stuff and just see how their lives are running and see what comes out. And I've learned a lot of stuff that way. And the trolls be crazy. Truthfully, the trolls we get on this channel ain't half as hateful as some of the trolls out there, because those people are genuinely thirsty for subscribers. So they will allow anybody in their live stream to say anything to them. And they cuss and fuss and all the rest of that stuff. And I just don't want to deal with that. Okay, well, guess what? I ain't mad. If I give you frog vibes, whatever. I don't care. I'm not even concerned enough with you to see what kind of vibes I get off you. But I guarantee you, if I started pulling some cards right now, it'll probably scare you and make you shut your silly self up somewhere and either leave here or respect what we got going on here. I promise you that. Thank you, Mindy Walker. I certainly appreciate you. And honestly, I don't even remember seeing you very much in here, sister, if at all. But I ain't seen this person either, and they don't know me from a can of paint and ain't even bothered to listen to the spiritual message where they could actually receive something for. I put myself in a position to be ridiculed by idiots like this so that I could try to bring a message to humanity for those that are ready to hear it and can awaken and ascend, because I believe it is a vitally important message for humanity. Hey, no wipe top coat, I ain't seen you in a minute. Welcome, welcome. How are you? You want me to pull some cards, Robin? Oh Lord, let's see. I'm gonna do it because y'all asked me to. Like I say, this is y'all's channel. You want us to see where he at? We want to pull some. Let me pull a Metatron. Christ consciousness. See what happens. I might. Yeah, why not? Like I said, we got time today. He got time to sit around. We got time. All right. Brooklawn Zoo, who thinks I look like a frog, ribbit, ribbit. I'm asking my tarot guys to bring us some information for Brooklawn or anything that I need to know or anything that the Soul family would like to know about him. Bear with me 1 second. Let me get some incense going here. I ain't pulling no magic cards. Trust and believe. They ain't got you see. I ain't gonna say nothing else to you. You see. Or you won't even admit it, but it don't matter whether you admit it or not. You'll get the message you're supposed to get. I'm gonna bring a message from spirit to you. I'm not gonna try to show you up or say anything particularly hateful to you because I don't even have super hateful cards like that. But I'm gonna ask spirit to bring a message for you, Brooklawn Zoo. You ain't even got to tell me whether it resonates or not. I'm just asking you to open your mind and heart long enough to actually receive the message. And if it resonates, if you'll be honest enough with yourself and me to let you know, then you do that. Because I was going to try to bring some ugly cards to see. I ain't even got to go there. Spirit, what message do we have for Brookline? Archangel Michael, I would like to ask that you put a protective shield around me and for the collective that is here. Only beings of divine light may enter into this reading. All beings that are not here for our highest good and of divine light, please leave now. Please and thank you. My tarot guides, I'd like to ask you to bring your energies in as well as my ancestors and any of Brooklyn Zeus as well. Archangel Raphael, please be with me with your healing energies, and Yeshua, allow me to be a clear channel for spirit, please and thank you, Ashe. You're being asked to be kinder to yourself. You give yourself a break instead of being a taskmaster, a bully, and a horrible friend. Be a loving comforter who always has your back. You're being asked to take stock of your life and let go of anything or anyone that no longer makes you happy. Notice who and what brings you joy and who and what doesn't. It's time for some life cleanup, Brooklyn Zoo. Abundance. You're being asked to open to abundance, to believe that you're deserving of it and believe that it'll flow to you. This is the first important step toward receiving it. Breathe deeply and trust that it's on its way. Let me see if there's anything else that wants to come up out of here. Any other message for him out of this deck, Spirit? Pay attention. You're being asked to pay extra close attention to the signs you're being given, both the subtle ones and the ones that can't be missed. These signs will help you see how to best move forward in order to live your best life. Inner peace. You're letting outside circumstances create turmoil and frustrations within you. Remember, you always have the power to choose your response. Let inner peace attract a higher vibrational outcome for you, Brookline. Now let me get over here and see what we got here. Oh, absolutely. People that love themselves don't reach out and try to hurt people, especially strangers. So he ain't got to tell me whether or not it resonate. I know it will. If you stick around long enough, we ain't done yet. Ooh, karmic partner, friends or family, other people and obligations. So you either cheating on somebody or somebody's cheating on you, or you're a high level karmic toxic soulmate. You don't have to continue to be that. You can learn spirit's lessons and ascend and break out of that karmic cycle. Ooh, and I wish you would too. This one he was supposed to be in with this deck. This is clairvoyant author. Here you are, the hero of your own story, the author of your narrative. You write the future in yourself. You rescript negative self-criticism and narrate positive thoughts. If you chose to do that, if you chose to do that, there is a wish fulfillment here, success and happiness. But that's up to you. No, P.T. Barnum was a fraud, though they said, so I don't even bother listening to Barnum. Cold control, silent, observing, hiding feelings, secretive, blocking emotions, a mask. But you are attracting something. Whether you're going to choose to get back gratitude, I mean, whether you choose to attract abundance or not is up to you, because this wheel is here. The wheel of fortune is not just for bringing abundance. The wheel of fortune is a karmic wheel. You can either be on the top of this wheel in a dharma season, or you can be at the bottom of it reaping karma. The choice is yours, but it is showing that this is karma, cycles, divine intervention, and divine detours. Literally, spirit is trying to reach out to you to get you to stop your bullshit and become a decent person and awaken and ascend and get over it. Get over yourself. All it is ego. It's ego that's allowing you to be that way, because I don't even know you from a can of paint. There's no reason for you to come after me like that, but you choose to. Let's pull a little tarot and see what else we can come up with. Oh, wait a second. Let me see what comes out here. Okay. Again, Barnum. Anyway, I'm gonna look it up, but I guarantee you it ain't gonna have nothing to do with what I got going on. Man is here. Something with his finances. He might want to stop playing with spirit. Fish is here. Stepping stone. Process of arrival. Baby steps. Talks about spiritual growth. There is a woman over there too. I don't know how that ties in for you. Maybe that's something to do with that third party situation. Who knows? You talk about if we looked up the Barnum statements that we'd never come in here, but apparently you know about the Barnum statements and you brought your ass up in here anyway. So what is you talking about? That part. Island, foreign affairs here, solo, isolation, standoffish, separation, estranged, lonely. Geese, on a quest, migration, relocation. Strength card is here with Leo, and then the rings. This is talking about him, something with a partner. Again, this man and woman here, you keep messing with other people and you are screwing up your own situation. You actually have something going on with a romantic partnership, one way or the other, and how it turns out is completely up to you, because that dharma wheel, karma wheel situation is there. You keep messing around with other people just for the hell of it because you think it's cute, and what you're genuinely doing is effing with your own fate and karma when you don't even have to. But do you, boo? Do you? Let me see. I gotta know. I want to really, really know. hmm I don't need to chat. You first of all, you just said the wrong damn thing. You talking about telling somebody to look up something in Chat GPT? We all know better than to mess with that. I can look it up in Google though. I surely will, but I guarantee you it ain't. No, we're gonna go there because he want to say talk some foolishness. Again, if you talk about a Barnum statement is a vague general statement that people tend to believe applies to them specifically, even though it's so broad it could apply to almost anyone. Again, I don't do that. Ask Brittany. I had a deck that I pulled. I didn't know why I was called to pull for it. The deck had one dragon in it, and I hadn't pulled that dragon card for nobody else. I wasn't even sure whether or not she would relate to dragons, but her guy, her main spirit animal, is a dragon. And she gave her goosebumps. That wasn't vague or general at all. But do you, boo? Do you? You know what the sad part is? The sad part is you think you know so damn much you will thumb your nose at spirit and try to interfere with other people who choose to believe. Because here's the thing, whether you believe it's a broad statement or not, those who believe know, and those who know believe, because they do understand that we are quantumly entangled. And as a man thinketh, so he is. We are powerful, manifesting people. That's one of the reasons so much hell and confusion going on in the world right now, because religion been trying to run the world off the edge of the rail towards Armageddon for 2,000 years, and they about to damn well do it. But if you truly believe, you can manifest, because rather than wasting your time with a crook like P.T. Barnum, go somewhere and read Napoleon Hill, that part. Everybody and his mama keep talking about how specific my readings are. You say he playing with you, Karma? I just started reading that, but again, it's not a parlor trick. You used to do it. If you're a charlatan of a reader, that's fine. But I've been on my spiritual awakening journey for 15 years. I read only for myself for 2 years, and then tentatively started reading for the collective about 3 years ago, and recently just started reading for other people on live stream. And even I get goosebumps at how much it resonates with people. Spirit has shown me the quantum nature of tarot. And if you don't believe, you don't have to participate. But you don't need to come in here poo pooing somebody else's stuff, because when I'm telling you, when you do that, all you're doing is energetically shooting yourself in the foot, brother. That's what you're doing. Because you think you're so smart and cool, you got to piss in everybody's Kool-Aid, and the only thing you doing is catching your own down when you pissing in your own Kool-Aid, for real. When it may have been a parlor trick for you, but it's part of my journey, because I didn't even want to read tarot. My spirit guides led me to it, because it was a part of my healing journey, and I took it seriously. Nine of Wands came out here. This is the Wounded Healer card right here. It's a card of resilience, Wounded Healer, Hermit, and Justice. Keep playing with spirit, you're gonna wind up in a scenario for real. Wheel of Fortune that came out again and again. The Wheel of Fortune is not always about the payoff. It's about karma. The Hierophant and Death is here. The Hierophant and Death. This is about religious systems, spiritual systems in order. This is a rebirth cycle. It's telling you to stand down. Eight of Wands is here. And the Hangman. Keep playing. Yeah, bye, Brooklyn. We again, I done pulled enough cards on you in this energy. I really don't need to. Well, I got two more decks that I do want to try to see what's going on here. Well, three, because I want to see what Archangel Michael got to say. And the angel messages. Exactly. So now he gonna become a bully, because you talking about you gonna help everybody else. Go help yourself. Ain't nobody asked you to be the tarot rescuer of the world. People are where they want to, because they want comfort and guidance and find it here. And if they find it here, compromise. Yeah. If you may want to compromise, or else you compromise your own morals. Look for a sign telling you big happy changes. You might want to get there. If you're ready, communicate clearly. Yeah. Honestly, if he stick around long, well, I don't know if he, because again, it's about whether you will receive the message or not. Recovery is here within the next few weeks. Helpful people. But again, you getting the signs and the messages are there. If you don't choose to receive them, then that's on you. Like I said, Yeshua spent 3 straight years trying to talk to the Jews, and look what they did to him. So if you don't, I don't expect you to hear or not hear. K your ass. That's all you got to do. And exactly, I'm spending my time rather than watching Ghetto Fabulous, whatever, Real Housewives, or where the hell ever. I'm spending time with people who want to spend time with me. Ain't asking nobody for nothing. Let go of fear now. That's what you need to do. Make a commitment. Forgive yourself. Decide to be happy now. Wow. Forgive yourself and decide to be happy now is Archangel Michael's uh, messages for you. So whatever got your knickers in a knot that chose to tell you to come in and bully on strangers, go somewhere and heal, brother. That's what the angels are telling you. Yeah, you need to go somewhere and heal. Drink more water, teach your artistic expression. I'm not the only one that done tried to bring you messages, but you're on a campaign and you can do it whatever you want. But what you're not gonna do is bring your poison up in here. So either be quiet and listen or carry your behind somewhere else. I done had enough. I don't need to keep messing with you. I will get a Yeshua card and see what the message from Yeshua might be for you. Carmen, what are you talking about? I'm not pulling tarot for anybody else except this clown that's in here that's on some nonsense, Carmen. You don't want me to pull in this energy because it's a nasty energy of a troll. I will be on my other channel tomorrow morning and we can take an in-depth look at your situation if you'd like to. But I don't even want to pull for you while you had this other nasty energy in here because I could say I opened the window for this, but yeah. No, I saw a third party situation. It's not, again, however you choose to take it, Brooklyn, that's on you. You'll find out. Hmm. Lion heart and abundance is here, but it depends on what you're standing for. I'm trying to tell you, there is an open door. And I was into Christ consciousness cards, but again, you're not even willing to consider Christ consciousness. But if you were to do so, right here, respond softly. Gentleness is here. The open door is here. Christ within you. Stand firm and enjoy life fully. But you ain't even enjoying yourself because you're somewhere that you don't even believe in, just for the purpose of being a pain from somebody. Ooh, living from the heart is here at the split though. Hold on. I think we're gonna look at that. Let me see what Metatron got. I might pull one from there. Then honestly, Brooklyn, you're part of the problem. If you're doing it with the attitude that you're deceiving people and using ruses and shotgunning, you, sir, are a charlatan. And you get whatever you get because you're playing with people's feelings. All tarot readers are not in that nasty energy. You never should have played with spirit like that. But that doesn't mean everybody is there. That just means that's where you at. You don't have a calling to read spirit. You aren't tending to your spiritual energy or your walk to be able to be a clear channel for spirit and be able to see the messages and get what you need to get out of them. So you need to take your advice. You are rusing people and shotgunning. But that's not everybody. That's just you, boo. Yeah, Carmen. Again, like I say, I don't mind pulling for you, but I'm not in this energy. I really don't. Boundaries is here. We're gonna read both of these. I definitely want to read what Metatron got, a message that he got for you, and what Yeshua got for you. Bear with me 1 second. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. Because these genuinely tend to, like I said, this is not a tarot card, and some of these messages get pretty damn specific. Oh, I did want to pull this though and see what's here. Man came up either way, dice, and I told you before it could go either way depending on what you choose. And the first three cards came out of this deck was man, dice, and the tower. So spirit is definitely involved here, but play with it if you want to. I'm gonna read these cards and then I'm gonna be done with you. I don't have that much energy to left. It's 11:33. I'm gonna read these and then we're gonna end this so I can be up in the morning for what I'm really wanting to do. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, this is the Metatron book 14. Boundaries, set them daily. Every day as the sun rises, you have an opportunity to set your personal boundaries for the day. Are you going to allow others to dictate your thoughts, emotions, and actions, or are you going to stand tall in your power and reclaim your energy, time, and life to do what is most important to you? You will be tested along life's path by those who drain you, those who disrespect and devalue you, who you are, and the precious life given to us to be lived fully every day. Maybe this card is just for me against you, but hopefully you'll get something from it too. Yeah. Ultimately, it is your responsibility to create boundaries that work for you in all areas of your life. Look at the situations where you allow others to take advantage of you. Look at situations where you put yourself last. Look at any relationship, business, or personal, where the balance of power is all wrong and you are the one doing all the giving or taking. Archangel Metatron invites you to create a wall of green energy around you where you can retreat to realize what is important, who is essential, and what daily tasks need attention and which do not. The answers to a balanced life are in this lush, fertile place where you can create the reality that sustains you every day. There are times when you will be drained and need replenishment to carry on, helping loved ones when they are ill or infirm. You can only do this work if you look after yourself first. The same goes for many other situations in life, raising children or being responsible for others who rely on you. The key to being at peace and in control of your life starts with boundaries. Without boundaries in place, you leave yourself open to the demands and whims of others and a disempowered sense of being. Didn't we start this conversation about boundaries because he was critical of the fact that I put up the boundary of requiring those who are allowed to speak in this room at least be subscribed. Hey, Gerline, what's up? Hey. Oh, have a good evening, Enviromed. Awesome. See you later, dear. Welcome, welcome, Gerline. Realize too that boundaries change. Wait a minute. The key to being at peace and in control of your life starts with boundaries. Without boundaries in place, you leave yourself open to the demands and whims of others and a disempowered sense of being. Realize too that boundaries change. What serves you 1 month may need changing the next. This is why the color green in this card, symbolizing growth, expansion, and space, is so important to focus on now. The boundary line depicted here is a hedge, something soft and yielding that can be carved into any design needed to help you. It is not hard or rigid, it is alive just like you. It is there to protect, preserve, and support you. Feel your boundaries around you today. Look at times you have said yes. Are they in place or not there at all? Learn when to say no and when to say nothing at all. When such lessons are learned, the holy grail of a day well spent is available to you. We wish you well. And then the Christ consciousness deck. Honestly, let me go back here and look at something. Thank you, Layla. I appreciate you. Yeah. Hold on. What did I do with my pen? Oh, here we go. And then we have living from the heart. And again, you don't have to ever tell me whether any of this resonated with you, Brooklyn, if you're still up in here, because I think that card was just for me to help me call back in my energy because of people like you. It could apply to you if you allow it to, but again, spirit is steadily around you, sends you here, there, everywhere. But if you're not able to receive it, that's on you. Living from the heart, soften and open. To understand what living from the heart is, we need to appreciate first what it is not. The Gospels make it clear that a hardened heart is one that cannot see or hear God. Then not only do we fail to understand the consequences of our actions, but we are blind and deaf to being able to witness how God can work through any situation, event, or person. OMG. As long as I've been working with this deck, I've never had this card come out for nobody. Nobody. This is particularly true when faced with a challenge where we immediately block the opportunity for breakthrough and instead focus on the problems that are there. The disciples are admonished for being unable to see and understand even after they've seen miracles previously happen in the same circumstances. When faced with tainted yeast from Herod and the Pharisees, they worry about having no bread until Jesus reminds them of the feeding of the 5,000. Living from the heart, therefore, is about trust and being able to see the highest potential, the path through which God can work even in the most unseen or unlikely places. In our own lives, it is too easy to self sabotage, have doubts, be unclear, or focus on unwinnable odds. Yet, if we soften our hearts and open to see and hear God, we hold the key that makes everything possible. The heart is also the mechanism through which we both give and receive. It stands to reason that if we've closed our hearts due to fear, past circumstance, skepticism, and more, we will fail to be able to receive the gift, bounty, and way out of our predicament. Ego, pride, and foolishness, too, can prevent us from receiving the answers and help we seek. Mm, mm. This can also arise from falling into victim consciousness, the belief that nothing good ever happens to me or that I am unlucky or undeserving in some way. Jesus always taught that everyone was deserving of love, and our heart has not forgotten this promise. The adage to trust our heart is one we all have heard but often fail to put into practice. We doubt our heart can be correct when we feel or intrinsically know something or are prompted to try something new, visit somewhere, or try out for a new job or role. Living from the heart is about recognizing that God works through these promptings, signs, and feelings, and that we are not wrong to trust them. In truth, when our hearts are as fully open as the lotus flower, life is richer and we send healing and pollinate the world with love, resulting in Christ consciousness in action. One open heart can open another, and so it continues, because when we are a witness for love, we contain a chain reaction that helps balance and harmonize our world. To live from the heart necessitates us being vulnerable sometimes. We will also come up against those who are closed and intransigent and may well be triggered by our goodness, since shining a light can make others very aware of their own lack of brilliance. Staying humble and non judgmental and holding compassion while the messy part of evolving takes place for us and others is key. The lotus grows and must push through mud to show its beauty, becoming one of the most stunning flowers. And as such, we too can burst out of our difficulties, limited mindsets, and ego and arrive at the heart's portal to birth new worlds today. Wow. And again, if that's what you feel, laughing hard, there are people that are charlatans. They use ruses and use this and that, but that does not mean that's what's happening here. If you believe that's what's happening here, leave, because those who do know and understand. We're not discussing that part. Like I said, P.T. Barnum ran, this is the clown you talking about that did the whole circus thing and ran the freak shows and everything else for years. So he was an absolute charlatan. That does not mean that everybody else is, because he wants to overlay that. Allow that man to poison your mind if you want to, laughing hard. Just take it away from here. Because even after that, I sat here and read these cards, and he don't want to admit whether they resonate. But like I said, that right there, the first message was a message for me. The second one was for him. I have had this deck for almost 2 years, and never have I pulled that card for anyone else. And that was such a pointed message that went right to the heart of the very mess that he's talking about. So if you still believe that he's telling the truth, you and him need to leave. That's all. I don't need to take no challenge, because again, people that want to sit there, I know for a fact I'm clairaudiently and telepathically linked with my partner, but it's not a parlor trick or some circus thing that for me to sit there and deal with that. I'm not dealing with them people on that kind of nonsense. Because I also understand that people that play around, that tend to scoff and all of that and play with energies, mess around with demons. I don't have no point to prove to them. If spirit want me to have $1 million, I can have it. I want to know why y'all are wasting your precious time. If you don't feel comfortable here, if you don't think that anything real is happening here, why are you here? Scientists have proven the fact that even like, look at the double slit experiment rather. A particle behaved like a wave, and a wave behaved like a particle based on the attention placed upon it by the conductor of the experiment. Humans, there's way more to humans than we know, and these people that stand back in their place of their audacity or whatever, they don't even realize how stupid they sound. I have proven my gift to the people I care to prove it to. I don't have to sit there and make no challenge for somebody who already doesn't believe, and their failure to believe will actually skew the experiment. That's what the double slit experiment proved. They've proven in the laboratory that the belief system of the person conducting the experiment in some cases can skew the experiment. So there's no point in me going up against somebody that's on that kind of time. I saw that mess the other day, and there are some people that think that they so damn slick that they want to debunk everything. First off, I'm not even here. Most of what I do ain't got shit to do with tarot. I'm here talking about a whole bunch of other stuff, biblical text, ancient text, the things I receive in meditation, and all the rest of that. And can't know you or nobody else tell me what I do or don't hear clairaudiently in meditation. Neither one of y'all laughing hard or that other clown. Because again, I did the work. I did the cleansing. I spent the hours in meditation. I did the breath work. And when I started receiving stuff that I genuinely did not know the answer to and had to get on Google and look it up, I couldn't deny any longer that I was receiving clairaudiently. I don't give a shit whether you believe it or don't believe it. I know what I was receiving, because I didn't know the answers until I went to look it up and then got the confirmation. So why would I allow charlatan, a self-proclaimed charlatan? He admitted that he did not genuinely have a spiritual calling for tarot. He just decided he wanted to go pick up some cards and con people, and he did it for over a year. But he got the nerve to come in here and want to mock my spiritual gifts. There's plenty of folks that are genuinely called to read tarot and are not doing that. All he did was call himself out to be a crook and a charlatan. Because again, yesterday I spent 9 hours of my own time reading for people who wanted to help and didn't charge nobody a dime. So what the hell is y'all talking about? I didn't shotgun nothing. I didn't shotgun a thing. That was a very specific message that went exact, and most of the deck don't have that kind of stuff in it. It went exactly to the issue of people doubting and trying to step on your belief system, and ask the question, will you allow those other people to get in your head, or will you continue to go where spirit is leading you? And if you don't understand that, then you're blind, and you and him need to go on about your business. That's all. And again, Mr. Magic Broke Lady, I didn't ask you for anything. So if I choose to spend my time and ain't asking you for nothing, what the hell do you care? What do you really care? That part. And you don't know what I got. Yeah, it's time to go because I don't have time to argue with these clowns. I'm gonna go sage my space, take me a salt bath, and call it a night. Thank you for those who are like minded. And we had a good conversation until the clowns came in, laughing hard. And Mr. Other Troll, whoever you are, if y'all would be so kind as to unsubscribe so I don't have to go ahead and remove you, I would really appreciate that, honestly and truly. But other than that, the rest of y'all who are here, have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining us. Hey, Funny Annie TV. Welcome to you as well, but we're getting ready to close it down now because there's too many trolls that ain't got nothing better to do than to wait the 5 minutes. I might have to start making it a 20-minute timeout or a 24-hour timeout. Who knows? But whatever. And again, oh, CC. Yeah. Wait a minute, what'd you say? That's why I'm leaving now, Layla, because yeah, at this point, these are literally the losers in life that start crawling out of the woodwork that have nothing better to do than to go and piss in people's Kool-Aids. And they literally scroll up and down live streams all night and go into them and become a problem for other people. Like I say, the ones that are here ain't even bad compared to some of other people's live streams that I've seen. And they don't even have to be tarot readers or nothing else. They just genuinely are hateful ass people in life that ain't got nothing better to do. So we're gonna leave here and leave it on a positive night. I love you all so much. Those who love me, the rest of y'all kick rocks with open toe shoes and lemon juice. But the ones who love me, that's part of our soul, genuinely part of our soul tribe. I love you ever so much. Peace and blessings to you. Absolutely, Brittany. I'll see you tomorrow in the live stream. The rest of you that can join us on the live stream as well tomorrow over on Anunnaki Oracle Priestess. We'll see you there. Love you, babies. Good night.